beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa Samina and I'd like to welcome you into the fam. Guys, today's pick a card tarot reading is one I've been so excited to create for you. In today's predictions, we're going to be figuring out how your love story is going to play out. And what makes this video so special and highly personalized is that you not only get to pick from 4 groups, but once you've received part 1 of your prediction, you get to scroll down into the description box and click your zodiac sign in order to receive the second, even more intricate, detailed, and personal part of your love story reading. And you guys, I'm not sparing any details. During part 1 of your prediction, we will be talking about their job, their zodiac sign, what they look like, their age, their dress style, their dating history. And during part 2, which is zodiac based, we will be figuring out the letters of their name. We'll figure out when you will meet them, where you will meet them, and how you will meet your person. And of course, if spirit and your guides are giving us any additional information about other situationships, that will all be included within your individual readings. So before I introduce you to the 4 groups and get into your love story readings, I just want to get some of this information out of the way right at the start of the video. You guys, oat milk chai tea in the morning is just, it's like a warm hug. If you're single and you're watching this, just try it out. You won't regret it. You guys always ask me where I get these gorgeous crystal rings from. Well, they're all from Bow Life Switzerland, which is my brand and company. It's linked below in the description box, and some of the decks used within this reading, such as the Wild Muse Oracle deck and a few others, are actually decks that I have self-published. You can find those on my website as well. They ship worldwide, and you guys all know the quality of my decks is exceptional. And my latest Oracle deck will be released in early 2023, so make sure that you get on the pre-order list to ensure that you secure a copy for yourself and you don't miss out on this. What makes the Below the Surface deck so special is that it not only comes with the collector's box, the cards, the guidebook, but I also created a journal to go along with it so you can document all of your findings as you're using the cards, creating your own readings, and also reading for other people. But you guys, enough talking. Please allow me to introduce you to the 4 groups. Group number 1 corresponds to the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle deck, as well as the Lapis Lazuli crystal. Group number 2 corresponds to the Wild Muse Oracle deck, as well as the Rose Quartz crystal. Group number 3 corresponds to the Shamanic Medicine Oracle deck, as well as the Citrine crystal. And group number 4 corresponds to the Pink Pain Tarot deck, as well as the Carnelian crystal. But the timestamps to all 4 of these groups can be found below in the description box, as well as pinned to the top of the comment section. That way you've got quick and easy access, even from your mobile devices. Just click the timestamp and you'll be fast forwarded to the relevant part of this video to receive your readings. So I will now provide you with a little moment of privacy. Feel free to pause the video right here if you need a little more time to meditate on the 4 groups, and I'll be right back to guide you into your love story. So by now, you've hopefully been able to select one of these 4 groups in order to receive the first part of your love story prediction. I will be starting off your psychic readings with group 1, which corresponds to the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle and the Lapis Lazuli. So if this is the group that you chose, then please continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups, as well as signs of the zodiac, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your love story reading. You chose the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle deck, as well as the Lapis Lazuli crystal. Let's first do a close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the gorgeous Lapis Lazuli. This is a crystal that can be used to calm your nervous system, as well as just give you that quiet but very powerful confidence about yourself. Now let's move into your reading, shall we? You chose this deck, and right off the bat, we can see here that we've got a peacock represented within this feather, in case you didn't know. So the peacock stands for an inherent wisdom that's emerging at this time. So I see that your love story is one that's going to come from a place of maturity and experience that you've gained along the way. The peacock shows me a lot of self-confidence, a lot of self-belief, and overall a love story that is going to be with someone who makes you feel as though there's nothing you cannot do. So I definitely see here that your love story is rooted in confidence, It's rooted in finally getting to know yourself and understanding what you need from love, and avoiding anyone who calls you high maintenance, group number one. Avoiding anyone who is committed to saying that you're expecting too much, and instead finding someone who will show you that it actually wasn't much all along. Okay, so not settling for any type of bare minimum love or bare minimum love story, and not feeling any way about it if you encounter people along the way who try to make you feel as though you expect too much of life. You've got one life to live, one love life to play out. You might as well do it big, group number one. Next up, we've got truth. So I do see here that your love story is all about being real, being honest, being truthful. I can see that your love story is going to play out with someone whom you can talk to about absolutely anything and everything. I see that your partner is going to be very truthful, and that is an attribute that is a non-negotiable for you, group number one. That is something that is so important, and they're going to be very honest with you about their dating history and also any type of trust issues that they may have struggled with. I see here within Healing Chaos that you're going to be in a love story with someone who has been through quite a tumultuous early stage in their life, so a tumultuous childhood. They have just been through a lot, and they've been healing the chaos. Maybe they also had a relationship or a prior marriage. I mean, we have yet to find out all the real details, that was toxic, that just didn't make them feel good. And then finally being with you, everything is different. Everything is based on truth, honesty, loyalty, and also being together in a healthy way, right? Healing any chaos and any type of difficult friction and toxic emotions and patterns that may have been surrounding the relationship. I see here within the Temperance card that your love story is one that's going to play out in a way that is slow but super sweet. Now, the Temperance card is a card that shows us a lot of balance. It shows us health and just a combination of infatuation and just taking like one sip at a time and enjoying every stage of your love story. I see that your love story is one that's going to unfold in a way that's maybe slower than you want it to, but it's better for the long run, group number one. Let me tell you why. A lot of love stories that are whirlwind romances that happen very quickly, where things progress in a way that you barely even realize how quickly you're moving forward. All of a sudden, you're talking every day, you're on the phone for hours every night, you're moving in together, you're getting married, you're having children. You know, a lot of these things can happen very quickly, but when you draw them out and when you create balance between your personal life, your family, and also discovering yourself, that often creates a love story that can last a lifetime. That creates a love story where you actually work on fixing your issues that you have individually, but also things that may cause some friction within the relationship. So the Temperance card is definitely a very positive card. It speaks to your maturity and your wisdom and the fact that maybe you've already experienced some situationships and whirlwind romances, and you're kind of moving on from that, group number one. You want something more steady and stable. Next up, we've got the Magician. Now, the Magician is the first card of the Tarot, group one. And the Magician is a card of leadership. This is a card that shows making the first move. So I can definitely see here that your love story is going to be with someone who has great leadership qualities. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what their job may be as well, group number one. In the Magician, we see that they're not afraid to be the one initiating change. They're not afraid to put themselves out there and take action. They're a very powerful person. And once they're focused on something, they can't get their mind off it. And they are definitely going to do everything in their power in order to accomplish greatness. I can see here that the person who is involved in your love story is someone whose purpose involves helping, teaching, and healing children. So children may be a part of this love story just in general, okay? So children in this relationship, but I do see here that there is a great chance that your person will end up working with children or already works with children. And they're a very inspiring individual. I see that in connectivity to the Magician and Healing Chaos. They didn't have the easiest time growing up themselves, so they want to leave a lasting positive impact on the next generation and also their own children or children that you might have with this person with whom your love story is playing out with. I see here within flowers that they also love to garden. They love to just be in the nature, to be outdoors. And I see here that your love story is going to be with someone who loves bringing you flowers. Okay, this person loves to surprise you with roses, with tulips, with lilies. You get the idea, group number one. And I see that this is just a part of romance in this relationship that you're meant to be in. Next up, we've got the Tower. Now in the Tower, I can see that in order for your love story to play out, there has to be a fresh beginning and a destruction of some sort of toxic relationship. Now, the Tower can be interpreted as a rather challenging card, but the Tower also means that there is a new beginning after sudden change because something had to be released. There had to be a revelation. Breakups are never easy. It doesn't matter how toxic or bad the person was for you, group number one. It's never easy to let go, and sometimes there can be feelings of shame when you know that someone isn't good for you or has mistreated you, but you still don't want to let them go. That is the type of sense that I get here within the Tower that you're both going through, and that kind of makes your bond even stronger in your love story because you have been through some situations that weren't easy with lovers, with family members, maybe at your work as well. And this person with whom your love story is going to play out with, they have been in very difficult situations romantically. And in the Tower, you both had to kind of start from scratch with each other, but also bring the lessons that you learned from the past along so that you can make your love story work, so that you can not repeat any unhelpful patterns and any unhelpful habits. Next up, we've got talk to your angels, group one. So I can see here that instead of worrying, just ask for divine guidance. Have you asked, group number one? Often when we're in difficult situations or we want love in our life and we just don't know how to get it, where to get it from, and we kind of remain in our heads. But have you just given it a minute at night before bed to just talk to your angels, to talk to your guides, whether you believe in angels, the universe, any other type of spiritual or religious teaching? It doesn't matter, but you have to ask. You have to put your want and your need and your wishes out there. If not, the universe will never know that this is something that you desire, that you're ready for love, that you're ready for your love story to play out. I see here within the author that another thing about your love story is that your love story is a wildly adventurous kind of connection, and it's going to be so interesting and intricate that you could write a whole book about it. That's one thing that I see here with an author, and you may actually go on in a couple years and decades, group one, to write a book that is based on your love story, that is based on your personal life, because there's just so much going on. It's so interesting. There's so many little details that seem too crazy to be true, but it is your reality, group number one. I see here within the Firefly that your love story is going to play out with someone who stands out. This is someone who doesn't stand out because they always want to do the biggest or the most of anything. So they don't stand out because it's important for them, for example, to have an expensive car or an expensive watch or expensive clothing or anything like that. They just stand out by being themselves. They stand out by being in their energy, in their divine feminine or divine masculine energy. And I see here within the Camel that when they enter a room, people can tell that this is someone who isn't joking around. They aren't kidding around. They are an authoritative type of person. So that also makes a lot of sense why we had the Magician for you, group number one, because they are truly the type of person who is a leader, a CEO in a managerial role. And I see with the Firefly and the Camel that they don't need to try. That's just naturally who they are. They're naturally inclined to make waves energetically when they enter a space. space, and they're naturally inclined to be seen as a leader, but in a very non-threatening type of way. They don't need to exert power in order to show that they've got authority. It just kind of comes with the territory. And I see here within the dragonfly that they love to pay attention to detail when it comes to their clothing. So their clothing will never have any like lint on it. It will never have any dirt or any marks or scuffs or anything like that. They're a very detail-oriented type of person. I can see that your love story will play out with someone who understands the importance of their looks, as in like presenting themselves in a clean way. They're not a shallow person, but they understand that it does make a difference whether you show up looking clean and put together or whether you show up like you just rolled out of bed. I see here within the golden egg that your love story will play out with someone who is truly one in a million. You know how a lot of people think they'll never find someone again, even when they're in a relationship with someone who isn't treating them well? Well, group number one, when it comes to your love story, you've actually found a good one. You've actually found the golden egg. You found someone who won't be so easy to replace, and you know that, but because you've done so much work on yourself, you are not entering this relationship with fear. You're not in this relationship constantly afraid that they're going to leave you or that something's going to happen. You've got a lot of confidence. That's what I see here within the golden egg. But I also see with the golden egg and children that should you have children in your love story, they will definitely be the types that are leaders. They will take after your partner and they will make a difference in society. I see here within the funnel that when it comes to your love story, there are lessons to be learned after a period of frustration. And I do see here with the Tower that this has a lot to do with just learning lessons, right? Growing pains that you're both going through. And I see here within the Tank card that once you've gone through relationships that weren't meant to be, you and your romantic partner with whom your love story will play out, there's just celebration, there's fun, there's enjoyment, there's a good time, and all you really want to do is spend time with the person who you know is the one, the person with whom you're meant to be with forever. So let's move further into your prediction, group number one. I want to figure out more about their zodiac, about their age. So we've got the Descendant. I can see here that they're the type of person who has this authoritative vibe, but at the same time, they're not very old. That's one thing that I see here within the Descendant. They're still young enough for them to be able to navigate spaces with you without anyone thinking like, oh, this person is so much older. I wonder how they met or why they're together. So that's one thing that I can see here. Next up, we've got the South Node. I can see that your person is someone who has a more conservative kind of style and approach. Looks-wise, we spoke about how they don't have to have any fancy clothes or anything that kind of like puts them in a different social or economic echelon. They're not like that, but I see here in the South Node that they definitely like clothing that is a little bit more conservative, that's a little bit more old-fashioned, put together. Things like button-up shirts, ties, and pants that aren't ripped. All of those types of things is what I see here within the South Node, because that's just how they feel the most comfortable. Within the 8th house, I want you to know that they're the type of person who's all about transformation, and they're very mysterious to most people. The 8th house actually astrologically corresponds to the sign of Scorpio. Not to be all geeky or anything, group number one, but this is also a card that represents personal transformation and growth. So your person is always thinking of ways how they can better themselves, how they can become more successful, how they can do more in their life. Personal development is so important to them, and they definitely have some important Scorpio placements within their birth chart. So think their moon or their rising sign. Next up, we've got the trine and sextile. So one thing that I can see here is that your love story is one in which you grow together. We've got symbiosis, okay? One hand washes the other. That's a type of philosophy that your love story holds and carries. That's a type of vibe and energy that your love story brings to the table. So there's a lot of equality here. While your person may be able to provide for a whole family, they don't want you to give up your dreams just in order for you to, for example, raise children or anything like that. They're very forward thinking and they want to encourage you to do what you want to do, professionally speaking. Next up, we've got the 7th house, which is the house of relationships. And the 7th house is actually the house that corresponds to Libra, and Libra is ruled by Venus, group number 1. I hope that wasn't too much to take in. So the 7th house, let's come back to the basics. The 7th house is all about balance. It's all about finding a relationship that works in the long term, that is healthy. So I see that your love story is definitely going to play out favorably when it comes to health in a relationship. And I do also see here that chores are going to be balanced. As this card corresponds to Libra, I want you to know that your person has Libra placements. They may be a Libra in their sun sign, for example. And the 7th house is also a symbol of marriage, okay, a long-term partnership. So your love story is most likely just going to play out with one person, group number 1, and it's most likely going to be a love story that is very long-term, where you're with someone for the rest of your life, you're with someone until your last moments, and it's just overall a marriage and a partnership that is very devoted, where you're focused on longevity and not just one person doing all the work or constantly being in a space of kind of making the other person feel wanted or needed. It's a mutually beneficial thing. Next up, we've got the 1st house. Now, the 1st house is the house of being. It is the house of your identity, of your body. I see here in connectivity to the 1st house, which astrologically corresponds to Aries, that physical appearance and physical health is an important part of your relationship and of your love story, okay? And I want you to know that being fit for a long time is what your love story strives to be, is what your love story kind of craves to have, because I definitely see here that physical attraction and being able to travel the world in the long term is one of the main things that's important within your love story. So last but not least, we've got Virgo for you. Now, group number 1 within Virgo, I can definitely see that when it comes to their zodiac, they are this earth sign that is practical, that is reliable, that is loyal. In case you didn't know, Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Virgo is someone who is very detail-oriented. They're very service-minded. They always want to do things for you. It's important for them to be of value. They're not someone who is self-centered. They're a very humble type of person, group number 1. And I do see here that your love story is going to thrive with Virgo, because Virgo doesn't put their needs above everyone else's. This fits beautifully with what we spoke about them having a dress style that is a little bit more conservative and old-fashioned, but not in a way that stands out weirdly, if that makes any sense. Not in a way that feels like they're trying very hard. It just effortlessly flows, and they just seem like a very elegant, put together person. That goes together with Virgo so well. Also, the fact that they're so service-minded and they work with children and they're in a leadership role where they can make the best of a company or their own business, that makes so much sense with Virgo. They're detail-oriented, they think in the long term, and they cherish what they have rather than always wanting something new, and rather than having, shiny object syndrome where they're constantly just drawn to new flashy things. So this is also someone who will not step out of the relationship. Any type of infidelity is highly unlikely here with this person and within your love story playing out with Virgo. So group 1, this is part 1 of your prediction that I received for you. If you made it all the way to the end, make sure that you leave a little flower emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you chose group 1. But now we're going to get into your zodiac signs portion of your love story, where we will talk about what letters are in their name, when you'll meet them, where you'll meet them, and how you will meet them. So we'll go even more into detail about this Virgo with whom your love story is going to play out with, and all of the other details that you need to know, group number 1. So scroll down into the description box or to the top of the comment section, and I will catch you at the click of your zodiac signs prediction. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your love story prediction. You chose the Wild Muse Oracle deck in connectivity to the rose quartz crystal. Now, let's first do a close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the gorgeous rose quartz. You may be familiar with this crystal. This is a crystal of love, friendships, and partnerships. And I do see here in connectivity to your reading that we're starting off your love story on a very gentle, sweet, kind note. So let's figure out what the person with whom your love story is going to play out with, what their job is, their zodiac sign, their looks, age, dress style, their dating history. Let's get into all the details within this first part of your prediction before we move into the zodiac portion of your reading, which will have other details, right? Such as letters in their name, when you'll meet them, where you'll meet them, and how you'll meet them. So first up, we've got sacrifices. I can see here that when it comes to your love story, there are going to be some sacrifices that someone is going to make in order to be with you, group number 2. So that could be moving to another country or town. It could be leaving their family behind just to be with you. Sacrifices in terms of giving up their job in order to be in a situation that is more comfortable in a long-term relationship with you, in a love story with you. I see here within multiple streams that sacrificing some time with each other in order to create stability in the long term is something that your person is inclined to do. So your love story is actually going to have multiple streams, as in multiple streams of revenue. So you may have multiple jobs, your person may have multiple things on the go. Maybe you've got entrepreneurial ventures that you're working on together and separately, and you're just constantly doing things, and you know you have to sacrifice some time. Maybe you are not going out as much as other people your age or other people who are in your same neighborhood, coworkers, but you know that it's all in order to create a future that those people may not experience because they didn't make the sacrifices now. Also ensuring that you're putting away money into different avenues and investing in lots of different ways in order to create stability because you don't have all of your eggs in one basket. That is what I see as an important part of your love story, the stability, group number 2. Next up, we've got 0 F's given. So I do see here that your love story is going to play out with someone who is unconventional. This is a relationship that is out of the norm. So as I mentioned, someone from a different country or from really far away, and that may be something that no one around you has done, or maybe it's just very different because you have a different mindset as a couple and as a team about your love life. Maybe you're going to premarital counseling. Maybe you are engaged together in spiritual practices, or on a regular basis, you do things like work out together, try new recipes. Just overall, authenticity is the most important thing, and you do not care about what others are doing in their relationship. I see that your love story is meant to play out in a way that is authentic to you and that serves you and your partner. And it doesn't matter how different that is, or how weird it seems, or whether other people understand it or not. That is a sacrifice you're willing to make to be different, or to seem as though your love story is not the norm, because you know that fitting into the norm doesn't guarantee success. After all, I believe half of all marriages end in divorce anyways, so those aren't exactly great statistics, especially if you have different ways of keeping your love story healthy and alive. I see here within Create and Progress that alone time will always be important in your love story, group number 2. Having time to just be creative, to do things that you love to do, and also to heal and nurture your inner child by doing things that you love to do as a kid, and having someone who supports that. I see that your love story is filled with support. It's filled with you being able to embrace who you are, and also to have that space in order to just think and reflect and figure out what it is that you want moving forward. So there's no narcissistic tendencies here. We don't have any toxic patterns. I see a lot of really perfect moments. So for example, just watching the moon together and experiencing and enjoying the little things in life, things that are free. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not focused on your job and on your grind and on your finances. It just simply means that your love story isn't going to play out with someone who's materialistic. Your love story is deeply rooted in enjoying the little things together and just having fun in tender moments with each other that have nothing to do with material acquisitions or accomplishments. Let's move further into your predictions. We've got justice. So group 2, I can see that your person most likely works in the legal field. They're the type of person whose career brings fairness and protection to others who need their help. So they may even do a lot of pro bono work, a lot of philanthropic things, and I see here that their job brings balance. So think of them, for example, being a lawyer, being a judge, being someone who works in the government, for example. But here within justice, it could also be that there's someone like, a bounty hunter, someone like a police officer, a policewoman, whoever they identify as. I see here within justice that their job is important in society because it protects other people and it helps those who cannot protect themselves and cannot stand up for themselves. I see here within You're on the Right Path that your love story is going to play out in a way that you will instinctively know, group 2, that this is the right person for you, that this is the perfect situation for you to be in. Once you've found the one, you're not going to ask yourself whether this is your love story, whether this is supposed to play out this way, whether this person likes you that much, whether they're interested in you. You will immediately and intuitively feel that you are with the person with whom you're meant to be with. And I see within Heart's Desires that another part of this has to do with the fact that you're being supported, you're being guided and protected every step of the way as you're with this person. So they make you feel safe. They make you feel as though you can trust, like you can lean back and relax. It makes a lot of sense with the Justice card as well, because you know that, for example, they work in this job, so they can't possibly be someone who doesn't tell the truth, right? Because that just wouldn't even go with who they are as a person. So their job really does a lot for their integrity. Next up, we've got Scorpio. The transit's a 10th house. Let's just talk about it. So within Scorpio, I can see that they've got this strong water sign type of energy. They most likely have a prominent Scorpio placement within their birth chart. They're most likely a Scorpio within their sun sign. Scorpio is a very intense sign that's protective, very magnetic, and they're persevering. So this person, when they get to know you and they know you're the one, they will continue to pursue you. They're the type of person who is very passionate, and when they want something, they go after it. Here within the transits, I do also see that one thing that they're very passionate about as well is the environment and is protecting other human beings, which makes a lot of sense here with the Justice card, okay? Philanthropic ventures as well as just overall human rights. That's something that they love to do and that they want to work in full time. They may still be doing a job that is more based in a different field, but ultimately that is the goal for them. So here within the 10th house, they have this sense of authority. So while your person and your love story will play out with someone who is really chill and who loves the little things in life, by others, they're seen as someone who has an amazing public image that makes others kind of bow down to them, right? Because they're, for example, a judge or a lawyer, people see them as someone with authority, someone who's highly educated and whose public image just puts them on a bit of an elevated status to the general public. But to you, they're just like your little cuddle muffin. They're just the love of your life. And I want you to know that the 10th house astrologically corresponds to Capricorn, which is an earth sign that is very grounded. Capricorn is an earth sign that's ambitious and responsible, economical and efficient. So this goes really beautifully with who they are, and it's most likely a minor placement compared to Scorpio within their birth chart. So next up, we've got the semi-square. Here within the semi-square, I can see that they're a type of person who is always under a lot of stress and tension. So your love story will be with someone who has a lot of responsibilities on their shoulders. They have a lot of work that they're always engaged in. So I see that when they're with you, that's really like a vacation. That's time for them to shut off and to just relax, to be able to be themselves, to not feel as though they constantly have this friction and this tension that's surrounding them. Next up, we've got the seahorse. So in your love story, there will be a family. There will be this creation of your own little family unit. And the seahorse also shows me here that role reversals are something that you're open to. So no matter who you or your romantic partner identify as, you're okay with switching things up from traditional gender roles. That's one thing that I see in the seahorse. If you identify as female, it's not going to be just set in stone that you cook, clean, and take care of children. And there is going to be fairness when it comes to that, and you're going to talk about it. Next up, we've got the broken ring. So I can see here in the broken ring that your person has had a relationship history that was turbulent, and they don't want that moving forward. The whole starting a family is something that is unique to you, but they may have been legally with another person before they got with you, group number 2. But there are no children there. There's nothing there that still binds them to their past. However, in the broken ring, I definitely see here that they were in a very serious, committed relationship that didn't end up working out. I see within this spirit that it resulted in heartache. It took them a long time to get over, and they stayed away from any type of romantic endeavors, most likely for years before meeting you, before they felt as though they were ready to be in another relationship. So they're definitely someone who is pretty mature. They're someone who doesn't like to rush into things, and they're a very reasonable person. That makes a lot of sense with their job, that they're so level-headed, right? In the elephant, I can see that your person physically is on the larger side. When they enter a room, they're definitely most often the tallest person in the room. They're also rather broad as well. That doesn't mean that they're obese or anything like that. They're just someone who takes up more space than the average human being. And I see here that that adds to a little bit of an intimidating aura, not because they're trying to be intimidating, but just because their sheer size and the fact that they have broad shoulders and they're the type of person whose smile is like really big and lights up a room. I mean, that all has an effect on how people see this person with whom your love story is going to play out with. I see here within the crow that they wear some shiny objects that are near and dear to their heart. So they have a ring that they wear, a necklace or a watch that means a lot to them. And that's not necessarily because it is an expensive item. I see here in connectivity to the elephant that it's most likely like a family heirloom. It's something that was passed down to them, and that is why they feel sentimental about it. That is why they wear it. That's why it's important for them to have that with them all the time. They're also a spiritual person, so they believe in energies. So if this was passed down to them from a grandparent, for example, they are taking it with them and holding on to it because it reminds them of that. Next up, we've got the gazelle. So they're a very elegant person. They know how to conduct themselves in a public situation. They're never rude in any type of public setting. They're very poised and put together. That's what I see here within the gazelle. Again, that makes a lot of sense with what they do for a career because people expect them to be put together, and that's exactly what they deliver as well. I see here within the tarantula that they're the type of person who always has a lot going on and tries to multitask, and sometimes that can make them a little clumsy and forget things such as picking up their dry cleaning, making sure that they send off emails on time, things like that, because there's just always so much going on around this person. So next up, we've got the deer. Now, the deer shows me that when it comes to dating, they haven't been with a lot of people because once they date, it is the real deal for them, okay? They want to seal the deal. They want a family. They want stability. They want it to work out in the long term. And I do also see here within your prediction that your person is most likely someone who is older than you, group number 2. Let's consult with spirit how much older they are than you, group number 2. Okay, we've got the number 9. So group number 2, they're most likely up to 9 years older than you. There we go, zoomed in. So one thing that I definitely see here is that this person is older, but not so much older that it seems off or strange to either one of you, you still get the same inside jokes. You still understand that you're from the same era, because they have a very young appearance. They have this tendency to look good for a long time. I see that within the deer and the gazelle and the elephant, that they take good care of themselves, and their appearance is one that they keep neat. And because they do that, they actually appear a lot younger than they really are. And they have this kind of young and fun energy when they're with you, when they're not in their job. Now, group number 2, this is part 1 of your prediction. Make sure that you leave a little deer emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you received part 1. But now we'll delve into the part that's even more personalized and detailed, right? Where you get to pick your zodiac sign, and then we figure out letters in their name, when you'll meet them, where you'll meet them, and how you will meet them. So scroll back down into the description box or to the top of the comment section, click your zodiac sign, and you'll be fast forwarded to part 2 of your love story reading. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your love story prediction. You chose the Shamanic Oracle deck in connectivity to the citrine crystal. Let's do a quick close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the gorgeous citrine. This is actually a crystal that brings abundance into your life, in case you didn't know. So I always recommend that you wear citrine jewelry if you're trying to attract more prosperity financially or spiritually into your life. I have a lot of citrine jewelry pieces on my website, and there's easy sizing available, so you can make sure that you get rings and pieces that will really fit you. So make sure you check that out, group number 3, if you're interested in adding more citrine into your life. But now let's move into your prediction so we can figure out exactly how your love story is going to play out, shall we? So first up, we've got the Dream Weaver. One thing that I can see here is that things that you've thought about your love story and your love life moving forward are actually going to come true. So if you already have a specific person in your mind with whom you want to be with, for example, how they look, how old they are, what type of economic background that they come from, I want you to know here within the Dream Weaver that your wants and your desires are so strong that you're going to attract those into your life. And while a lot of people may say to you, group number 3, that you're high maintenance or your expectations of love are unrealistic or you're a hopeless romantic, let me tell you, group number 3, don't share your big dreams about love with small-minded people. That is the fastest way to diminish your dreams, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to engage in that. Within the Dreamweaver, I do see that your love story is going to play out just as you fantasized about it in so many different ways, and you'll almost be shocked that this is your reality when it comes to your love story. I see here within the drum that the more you kind of follow your heart and the more you stick to your standards and your values, the more you awaken to this understanding that that is the only way how you can attract someone into your life with whom you can share tender moments, difficult moments with, the most beautiful moments in life that there are. I see here within the drum and the Dreamweaver that because you're not going to settle for your love story, you will be able to experience an extraordinary love story, right? Because you're doing more than the ordinary. When someone tells you that you're being a dreamer, rather than believing them and shutting down your dreams or feeling like you can't accomplish them, you actually use that as motivation to continue on, whether it be when it comes to love or when it comes to your career and your professional life. You're highly driven and ambitious, and that is one thing that plays out in your love story as well. I see here within prayer that in moments that are really difficult, one thing that you find comfort in is meditation or prayer. If prayer is triggering to you, group number 3, do know here that this is meant more symbolic of internal reflection, of receiving guidance from a source that is bigger than you and I, of connecting with something that is unseen, but yet you know is here. Yet you know this is something that you are meant to connect with, that's meant to support you. It could be angels, it could be guides. You get the idea, group number 3. So next up, we've got the Temperance card. I see that your love story will play out in a way that is balanced, that is slow and steady, but will win the race, so to say. That's what I see here within the Temperance card. And you're going to have to be a little bit patient when it comes to meeting your person. Now, in the second part of your prediction, which is zodiac-based, we will talk about when you'll meet them, where and how you'll meet them, and we will also be figuring out some of the letters within their name. So hold tight for that. But Right now, within the Temperance card, I definitely see here that you will not meet them when you're a teenager, for example. I see that your love story with the person with whom you're meant to be with is going to play out a little later in your 20s or in your 30s. I see here within the Emperor that your love story is going to be one of success. It's going to be one of planning ahead and enjoying life. Now, the Emperor is a card that is all about stability. In numerology, the number 4 is the number of stability, of building a home life, a family, of structure, and also fatherhood and authority. That's one thing that I see here. I see that the person with whom your love story is going to play out with is someone who has a lot of authority in their day-to-day life, but also in the family structure that you're creating. Now, whether they identify as male or female, their divine masculine energy is definitely giving them zaddy energy, group number 3. And I want you to know here in the Emperor that they love to feel like the leader in the family. They love to feel like the leader in the relationship because they love to plan. They love to make sure that you're going on dates, that you're traveling, that you're seeing things out of the norm. They just love to take care of you. I see here within the Ace of Swords, group number 3, that your love story is going to make you see things so differently. So while you may have always hoped for this to play out like in this sense, in this way, you always wanted your love life to be in a way where you can just relax into it and enjoy it and be taken care of for a change. I see here in the Ace of Swords that when it actually starts to happen to you, it's like a shock to the system. You're like, wow, I didn't even know this was possible. I didn't even know that this was something that I could access. Next up, we've got the 4 of Wands. So I see here that the relationship of your love story is rooted in understanding for one another. It's rooted in compromise and being there for each other, and also wanting to build a home. So not just purchasing a house, building a home, working together on it. I see that you will definitely be purchasing a home with the person with whom you're meant to be with. Your love story is going to play out in a beautiful home that is decorated in a way that is warm and inviting and super personalized, where you and your partner work together, and it's like you don't feel as though their style doesn't go with yours at all, and vice versa. I see here within the Moon that your love story plays out with someone that intuitively knows what you like, and you intuitively know what makes them happy, and you always try to include a little bit of those things in your day-to-day, in your decision making. You always include one another's needs and wants whenever you go out in public. Whenever you do anything, you ensure that you have your partner in mind. That's one thing that I see in the Moon. The Moon is also a card of imagination, so continue to dream on, group number 3, because while people may say that these fairy tales don't exist, your love story is nothing short of a fairy tale. Next up, we've got conjunction. So I do see that your love story is going to be with someone who works in a structure where there are a lot of other people involved. Okay, so they either work in a really big corporation, or they're the type of person who has a rather large company that they own. So in conjunction, I do see here that they work with like-minded people. They are the leader. They are the one that others look up to. And I do see here within Alliance that working with other like-minded individuals is what gives them a lot of energy. It gives them a lot of kind of drive, if you will, to continue pushing forward, because there's like a greater mission there. In Pallas Athena, I can see that there's someone who is highly intellectual. The person with whom your love story is going to play out with is someone who is well educated. There's someone who is most likely sapiosexual, so to say. They absolutely go crazy for someone with whom they can have a nice conversation with. They are not someone who has this shiny object syndrome, who just wants to be with someone who is young and pretty and adheres to society's beauty standards. They want to be with someone with whom they can have an intelligent conversation with. They want to be with someone where even if looks fade, what's really attractive is what's in their head, is what's in their brain. Next up, we've got Venus. In case you didn't know this, not to be all geeky or anything, but Venus actually rules the signs of Taurus as well as Libra. Venus is the planet of, love, of intimacy, affection, attraction, aesthetics. I do see that the person with whom your love story will play out with, they love beautiful things, and they are most likely a very good looking individual themselves. So they have this perfect balance of understanding that for longevity in a relationship, they have to love you at the core, but they also love how you look physically, group number 3. And I see here within Venus that they take excellent care of themselves and they like to be intimate. They like to be physically intimate. That's one thing that I can see here. Next up, within transits, I also want you to know that an important thing to them is the environment. I see here within transits that they're very interested in planets and planetary aspects as well, and that is something that they can talk to with the people whom they meet up with in their free time. So it's like they have two different sides to them. They have the work side, and then they also have the side where they're just hanging out with people who have nothing to do with work, because they need that balance. They've got a lot of responsibility on their shoulders. They always have something going on. So they need some friends that have nothing to do with the work that they do on a daily basis. I see here within Aquarius that this is most likely the sign that your person belongs to, group number 3. The person with whom your love story is going to play out with has strong Aquarius energy, so maybe they're an Aquarius sun. And Aquarius is actually a sign that's super innovative. It is very original and independent. It can sometimes be very rebellious too. So this really makes a lot of sense, as we had the Emperor here. They don't like to listen to orders or to just blindly do what other people tell them to do. They don't care if they seem unconventional. I see that your love story is about authenticity, not about fitting in. Next up, we've got the solar calm. So I see that the job that they're working in is a job that helps to make things more understandable. So we spoke about how your love story is going to play out with someone who either works in a really big corporation or owns a big corporation. So think film, TV, but also another thing could be clarifying things in the sense of working in advertising, right? Clarifying what a product is. And it's important for them to be ethical, and it's important for them to include the fact that they don't want to work for companies that don't care about the environment. They don't want to work on projects or for clients that are destroying the planet. That is where they draw the line. That is something that your person with who your love story is going to play out with, they don't like that. They're not doing that. There is no amount of money that they would take in order to support such a cause. That's one thing that I can see here when it comes to their job and who they are as a person. Now in the B, I see that they're a hard worker. They've got a strong work ethic, and they are the type of person who, when it comes to dating, they're not going to waste time with anyone who's just drama. They're not going to waste time in a relationship that doesn't allow them to thrive professionally. And I see here within the raccoon that they're a very honest person. So if they don't want to be with you, they'll just be blunt and honest. And that makes a lot of sense here with the Aquarius energy, which is energy that's super masculine, super outspoken, very straightforward. That's one thing that I see here. So it's important for you to know that when this person wants to be with you, they really want to be with you. If not, they wouldn't be there. Now, you know how a lot of people say, oh, well, you can find someone else. There are a lot of fish in the sea. Well, you know, the ocean is starting to lack fish, and the ocean is full of trash and plastic, group number 3. So know here that your love story will play out with a good one. And no, there are no other fish in the ocean. When things are not great with your person through the years and the decades, you are going to work things out with each other, because you understand that the ocean is polluted and you don't want to go out there and fish for plastic. I see here in the golden egg that the person with whom your love story is going to play out with, they still have these values of fixing something that's good rather than just like throwing it away and looking for something new. Next up, within the horse, they're a freedom-loving person, and I want you to know that your love story will play out with someone who isn't that much older than you. So you do not have a big age gap with this person. I actually want to like specify this for you, group number 3. So Spirit, please let us know, how many years are we apart from this person with whom our love story is going to play out with? Okay, we've got 3 years, group number 3. That really resonates with your group as well. So 3 years of an age gap, that's one thing that I see here with your person and with how your love story is meant to play out. And furthermore, I see that when it comes to who they are as a person, they don't stand out in any crazy way physically. I can definitely see here that they blend into a crowd, but what makes them so different is their thought process. What makes them so different is who they are on the inside. So they don't wear any eccentric clothes. They are not particularly small or large or anything like that, but there's just something about their attitude that is so different and that makes people kind of turn their heads when they walk by. It's not because they're physically different. It is just that they have a different type of energy about them, and it's inexplicable. It's hard to really know unless you've been around this person. So next up, we've got the needle and thread. I can see here that this wish will be granted to you. Okay, your love story wishes, group number 3, they will be granted. You're deserving of an amazing person. You're deserving of an amazing love life. And your love story reading just really confirms that and gives us an idea of how it's going to play out. And I want you to continue to believe that. I want you to continue to not have even the slightest doubt in your mind that you're deserving of an amazing life, especially an amazing love life, because you are meant to be with someone here who has a steady head on their shoulders, who respects you and loves you and who likes to take care of you and be there for you. We've got the fair man, so we have an idea of what your person may look like. So dealings or a relationship with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair, that's one thing that I see in the fair man. So that doesn't necessarily mean that their skin is very fair, but their skin might be fair, group number 3, but this is more just in relation to their hair. This is more in relation to some of the features that they have that are rather fair, that are a little bit more delicate, and that they take good care of. Let's see what else that we've got here for part 1 of your reading. We've also got the kite. So in the kite, I can see that this is someone who loves to vacation. They love to go away. So whenever they go away, they're most likely in the sun, and that also helps to kind of bleach some of the hairs on their body. So I definitely see here within the kite that your love story will play out with someone who loves to just also take time away from work and the world and all the craziness. So group 3, this is the first part of your prediction. I hope that you enjoyed it. Leave a little honeybee emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you watched all the way to the end of the first part of your reading. But in part 2, we'll talk about letters in their name. We will draw actual letters. We'll talk about exactly when you will meet them, what month of the year it is. We'll talk about how you will meet them and where you will meet them. So if you're interested in your love story and how it's going to play out and all of these details, then scroll down into the description box, click your zodiac sign, and you'll be fast forwarded to part 2 of your love story prediction. So I'll catch you during your zodiac signs portion of this video. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to the first part of your prediction. You chose the Pink Pain Tarot as well as the Carnelian to help guide you through your love story. This is the gorgeous Carnelian crystal. This is a crystal that brings passion as well as love and enthusiasm into your life, which may be why you intuitively felt drawn to this stone, but maybe you just also loved its appearance. However, now let's get into your love story. So in this first part, before we move into your zodiac signs portion, we'll be talking about their job, their zodiac sign, their looks, their age, their dress style, their dating history, all that. And once we're in your zodiac sign portion, which you get to choose after this first part of your prediction, we'll add letters of their name, when you'll meet them, where you'll meet them, and how you'll meet them into the mix. So let's get into it, shall we? We've got the 9 of Bottles as well as the Judgment card. So group number 4, the 9 of Bottles is a highly favorable card, which speaks beautifully to your love story, because the 9 of Bottles is basically like the wish card in the tarot. It shows that the things that you crave, that you wish and hope for when it comes to love, are most likely going to become a reality reality for you. So your love story is definitely filled with a lot of the things that you've always dreamt of, and a lot of situations that make you feel as though your love life is in a place where fulfillment is there every single day. There may be tough times, there may be times where things aren't so easy, but ultimately you're feeling fulfilled. Next up, we've got the Judgment card. Now, the Judgment card corresponds to the number 20 in the tarot, and this is a card of a rebirth and just overall this inner calling that you're following. So I see that here that when it comes to your love story, the more that you follow the things that you really desire, the more that you find that overall fulfillment is accessible to you, and there's nothing that you would want for. So in the Judgment card, it's also about seeing clearly, right? That's one thing that we have depicted here. Seeing red flags early on and clearly discerning that you are dealing with red flags, and then also just moving on. Group number 4, you don't need to stay in a relationship or a situationship where you're constantly dealing with these red flags that are just going to get worse and worse. Next up, we've got the Queen of Bottles. Now, the Queen of Bottles is representative of the type of energy that you've got here within your love story. The Queen of Bottles represents the Queen of Water. So think to yourself, Cancerian, Scorpio, or Pisces energy. The Queen of Bottles is someone who is nurturing, who is caring, someone who is, in a sense, also very diplomatic, but they have a very tender-hearted side to themselves, okay? They have this kind of mother energy, if you will. So part of your love story is definitely a very paternal type of side, like a side of being a parent, caring for children, just overall having a family structure and not feeling as though you've compromised in it. That's what I see in the Queen of Bottles in connectivity to the Nine of Bottles. Oh, okay, we've got 2 cards here. The Eight of Bottles as well as the Temperance card. Let's start off with the Temperance card. I definitely see that having a good time is part of your love story, group number 4, but sometimes there will be a lot of partying with your future partner, a lot of good times where you're going to have to learn to temper yourselves a little bit. You're going to have to learn to take things a little slower and focus on balance, because you're going to want your love story to be this whirlwind romance, because you'll meet someone with whom you'll hit it off with immediately, and you're going to want to do all of the things very quickly when it comes to commitment. Okay, so that could be moving in together, that could be kids, that could be marriage, just different types of things that require for one to usually know one another really well in order for it to happen frictionless. So that's where I can see here in the Temperance card that you're both going to have to say, okay, let's like take a little step back, take it slower than we want to, but we want this love story to last, right? Group number 4. Next up, we've got the Eight of Bottles. Now, the Eight of Bottles here shows me this situation that you're willing to walk away from, or just situationships overall, once you see very clearly, like we spoke about here in the Judgment card, when it's not serving you, you're not afraid to walk away. You're not afraid to go your own way, to tell someone that, hey, this just simply isn't working out for me. I don't feel as though my needs are being met, because you don't have this fear of never being in a relationship or having your love story actually come to the happy end that you deserve, group number 4. You've got confidence and you've got passion for the fact that true love is not going to make you question anything. It's not going to make you feel as though you need to walk away at any given point, or as though there are just like increasing reasons to not be together. That is not what you're going for here. I see that you are all about protecting your inner circle. Your love story is going to unfold with someone who protects you, who protects the family, and who just overall wants to build something for generations to come. This is somebody who is all about protecting assets as well, so building generational wealth, for example. And I want you to know here within protection that they feel super protective over you and your physical and mental safety. So that's one thing that we've got in protection. Next up, we've got power. So I see here that your love story is going to unfold with someone who is pretty powerful. Maybe this person comes from a family that has kind of been able to wield their power for a very long time. And I do see here that in a sense, they've walked away from using that to their advantage too much. They're doing their own thing. So while they come from a background of power, they're not the type of person who was just kind of given or handed everything in life. They have worked hard to get where they are today, and I definitely see here within power that it is super important for them to continue to work hard, to continue to fight for what they want, and to earn everything. But I do also definitely see here that even though it wasn't their choice, a lot of people look up to them, a lot of people respect them a lot of people maybe even fear them, so to say. So I definitely see here within power that they still have this presence that you can't really compare to like a regular person. Next up, we've got the Eight of Cups again, group number 4. You're walking away from some relationships before your real love story unfolds. So you will have at least broken up with like 1 or 2 people. I definitely see here within the Eight of Cups that you will have walked away from some situations that then strengthened you and made you remember your worth and remind yourself of the fact that you don't have to stay in a predicament that doesn't serve you. So the Eight of Bottles and the Eight of Cups are basically the same card. In the Ace of Swords, I can see here that your mindset overall is the most important thing when it comes to your love story. And I can see that the person with whom you'll end up with, the person with whom your love story is going to play out, is someone who constantly inspires you, who gives you new ideas, who makes you feel as though it's okay to come up with quirky things, even if they're very different and very outlandish. I definitely see here within the Ace of Swords that your love story is meant to play out with someone who pushes you, but in a really good way. So let's get into more details about who this person is, shall we? So first up, we've got the Butterfly. Now, group 4, in the Butterfly, we have someone who's been through a big transformation. This is someone, as mentioned, who could have had everything handed to them, but they didn't go with that. With the Butterfly, we've also got air sign energy, as this is the element that corresponds to air, well, the symbol of the element that corresponds to air, and I see here that that is one of the things that you're most attracted to. The Nightingale shows me more air sign energy for you, so think to yourself Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Those are some big placements within their birth chart, and I see here that they are someone who is unafraid to speak up, whether it's family, whether it's their community, whether it's their work situation. The Nightingale spirit shows someone who's very outspoken, who isn't afraid to have their own mind, say their own mind, even if that means that they go against those who should be closest to them. If it's the right thing to do, they will. And I can see here that with your love story, this is someone who is really protective of the relationship. If they have to go against family or friends or even people with whom they work with, they will, because they will speak up for the relationship. As mentioned here within protection, they are a super protective individual. Next up, we've got the Fire Ant. Now, the Fire Ant brings this very communicative type of vibe to your reading. So it shows that they have a lot of acquaintances. They know how to communicate. They come from a background where very early on they were put in many social situations, and they're the type of person who is also good at collaborating. Okay, so your love story is going to be with someone who works with a lot of people, who is often in the position of power, and they don't try to wield or use that power, but everybody knows they're in the position of power. And here within the Fire Ant, I can see that they actually derive a lot of energy from being around other people and collaborating when it comes to work. So they're more of an extrovert than you are. And the Bee shows me that they work super hard, group number 4. So they're definitely someone who is very determined. They're someone who wants to make a name for themselves, not just rest on the name that they were born with and that they came with. And I definitely see here in the Bee that it is their life's purpose to be that person who isn't afraid to build their own legacy. And we've got air sign energy again. Okay, so Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, someone who is adventurous, someone who is creative. Those are the type of main signs that I see your person being in. So let's see if we can specify that group number 4, if we can get into a little more detail about their zodiac. So we've got the 8th house. Now the 8th house is the house of mystery. This is the house of transformation, of joint finances as well. So I definitely see here within the Butterfly that your love story is going to play out with someone who wants to merge that, with someone who isn't afraid to put that together. Their 8th house is going to be be within an air sign. Next up, we have the descendant for you, group number 4. So I do also see here that when it comes to the person with whom your love story is going to play out with, they are someone who has a very inviting kind of energy and a very inviting external appearance. So by society standards, they are probably actually pretty good looking. And I do see here within the descendant that if you didn't know any better, you would maybe even think that they're seeing a lot of people, that they use their good looks in order to just date around, if you will, but that's not who they are, even though that's the impression that they may make. Next up, we've got the 7th house. Now, in case you didn't know, the 7th house actually corresponds to Libra, which is an air sign. And I want you to know here within the 7th house that marriage and a committed partnership is part of your love story, okay? And with this commitment comes all of the bells and whistles that you can think of, group number 4. So I see that this is important in your love story. It's going to be part of your love story. And just overall, that's the whole goal of this entire setup and this situation. I want to figure out a little bit more about the person with whom your love story is going to play out with. So we have let go again. We can definitely add this to the 8 of Cups, right? You walking away from situations in order to resolve them, because sometimes there's just no point in continuing to try with a relationship where you can just tell it's not working out. Meanwhile, you have someone who will stand up for you, who will stand up for everything that you've built. So why be with someone who isn't doing that? And next up, we've got light and love. So I can see here that your love story is going to help you to bring divine healing and light and love into this world even more than you're doing now already. So this is just meant to be supportive. And if it's not supportive, you're unafraid to let go of it. And that's one thing that the person whom you'll end up with really likes about you, group number 4, the fact that you aren't afraid to walk away when it doesn't serve you and when things just are not working out in a way that in the long term is healthy. Now, the Knight of Pentacles shows me here that the person with whom your love story is going to play out with is definitely someone who dresses really well. I'm going to add that to the descendant. There's someone who always dresses very like business casual and smart. They're the type of person whom others look at and they think they look good, not in a just conservative way, but they have like a really good sense of style as well. Next up, we've got the Death card. Now, the Death card is a card that corresponds to the sign of Scorpio. And I want you to know here within the Death card that your person has been through such a personal transformation. You probably couldn't even recognize them like 5 years ago, group number 4. So your person has had a tumultuous dating history. They have had a difficult time in the past, but they have risen from the ashes like a phoenix, group number 4, and they're ready to continue to do so. I see here with an opposition that they never give up. Your love story is going to play out with someone who continuously ensures that they put their best foot forward, that they always kind of fight against what isn't right, if you will. And I definitely see here that their job has a lot to do with that. So they may work in a field such as like a legal field where they fight against any type of illegal activity, anything that isn't right, anything that compromises the integrity of companies and human beings. I definitely see here that they work in a field that wants to be philanthropic, if you will, but at the same time also be sustainable. So they may have their own business. Think of like, for example, a law firm or just a business that produces things ethically that has been in their family for a long time. And where they're at opposition, that's with, for example, fast fashion, or that is with, for example, any type of activities that doesn't honor the law properly or kind of tries to undermine that. Next up, we've got Cancer. So Cancer is an important placement within their birth chart. We were talking about a lot of this air sign energy that came up, But if we would just want to get straight to the point about their zodiac sign, so not their moon sign, not their rising sign, it seems as though your guides, group number 4, want to tell you that they are a Cancerian. We also have the number 4 here, which is the number of stability. And this makes a lot of sense if we look at the 7th house and the fact that a stable relationship and marriage is important to them, as I do see here within Cancer, that is something that is just the most natural thing to this sign, and that just kind of goes without say, if you will. So they're thinking long term, they're thinking how they can build something that will last for years and decades to come, for them hopefully a lifetime, and they're the type of person who is not that much older than you, group number 4. I see that in the Knight of Pentacles as well as the Queen of Bottles. We have it in the Death card. They're the type of person who is innovative, who is very much into like the newest gadgets and things, and there is nothing that points to the fact that they are much older than you within the reading. It seems as though you are on the same wavelength about a lot of things, and you're kind of from the same era. So I do want to add an exact number to your prediction, group number 4, so we can figure out exactly how much older they are. So they're a little bit older. I see that in the Queen of Bottles and the Knight of Pentacles, but not that much. So, okay, we've got the number 1 for you. Let's just zoom in on that, group number 4, so you can see it. Here we go. So your love story is going to play out with someone who is just a year older than you, who isn't that much advanced in age, and I can definitely see here that maturity wise they are definitely ahead of the game compared to their biological age, but just biologically speaking, that is what we've got when it comes to their actual age. So now group number 4, we're going to move into part 2 of your prediction, which is based on your zodiac sign. So make sure that you first leave an ant emoji below in the comment section before you click your zodiac sign, and you'll be fast forwarded to the second, even more intricate part of your reading, where we're going to go into letters of their name, when you'll meet them, where you'll meet them, and how you will meet them. So group number 4, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp and in the second part of your reading. Hello, all my gorgeous Aries babies, and welcome to the second, even more intricate part of your love story prediction. So let's get into more details about how your love story is going to play out. I hope that you enjoyed the first part of your reading and that you found a lot of clarity in it and that it brought you a lot of information. But now let's talk all things Aries specifically. We've got the Wheel of Fortune as well as the Ace of Wands. So one thing that I can see here is that you're going to meet your person by chance. And the Ace of Wands shows me that this is going to be at an event of something that you feel really passionate about. So think, for example, an art gallery, if you're a foodie, a restaurant, or a bar situation. I also see here with the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Wands that you're going to just meet them by chance when you're, for example, walking down a hallway and you bump into each other, you start to talk to one another at the grocery store, at, for example, a DIY store, if you're very passionate about cooking, about DIY arts and crafts, and just overall this is going to be a very organic meeting with this person. And as mentioned with the Ace of Wands, it's going to be in a situation where you're going after something that you're passionate about. You're already doing something that you like and that brings you fulfillment. Next up, we've got the Queen of Cups. So they're going to look at you as though they have never seen a woman, a man, a person before. Okay, they're going to look at you with these googly eyes. They're going to think to themselves, wow, this is the one. You're going to instantly feel attraction towards them. I can definitely see here that when you meet them in this public space, they're going to be infatuated by you right off the bat, all my gorgeous Aries babies. And maybe this has to do with your Aries energy, which is very enthusiastic and energetic, fun, pioneering. But maybe it's also because that day you were just feeling yourself and you just felt like you looked really good on that particular day. As I do see here within trust that you're going to actually be in a headspace where you're not even looking for anything, you're not even thinking of your love story, but you still feel really good about yourself. That is the type of day on which you're going to meet your person with whom your love story is going to play out with. I also see within trust that we've got this kind of like almost new moon situation. So if you're looking for a time of the month, that's what we have here within trust. And let's just get very specific, all my gorgeous Aries babies. Let's just figure out exactly what month of the year it's going to be. Okay, we've got October for you, my gorgeous Aries babies. So your love story is going to start during the month of October, when you're not looking for anything, when you're just happy with yourself, you're content with your situation, and that is when the relationship is going to begin and your entire love story is going to start to play out. Next up, we've got purity. So here within purity, I can see here that the meeting is just going to be one that is so pure. It's not going to be like any of these weird setups that people do, these blind dates that just feel inorganic. I want you to know here within purity that it's going to feel like in a movie, right? Like these situations where you meet someone and it's like too good to be true and it feels very meant to be. Next up, we've got release. So we've got this autumnal type of energy and vibe, which makes a lot of sense with October. So I definitely see here that you will meet your person during the time of the year where things are being released, which makes a lot of sense that this would be in an autumn month. However, this release is also taking place, for example, during the month of November and December. So October is the strongest month for you to meet them, but of course, it could also be a different time of the year, all of my gorgeous Aries babies. So don't feel as though it can only be in October. Next up, we've got the sunrise. Okay, it's going to be during a kind of new moon situation, but more at sunrise. I can see here that while you're pursuing new creative ideas and new creative ventures, and you feel as though that day is just a breath of fresh air, it's like a day where things couldn't get any better. And then on top of that, you meet this amazing person with whom your love story is actually going to play out with. So this is how you will meet them. You're going to meet them, as mentioned, in a place where you're already going after your passion and they kind of see you in your element. And I see here within updates to your system that they're going to be so painfully different from anyone you've ever met. They're going to be like, already mentioned, like this breath of fresh air. Like you're going to meet them and you're going to think to yourself, wow, this is an interesting person. This is someone with whom I can have a long conversation with. This is someone who really kind of works my mind in a way that other people aren't capable of doing. And I do see here within In Touch with Your Body that they are the type of person who makes you feel very comfortable in your own skin and your body. And they're the type of person who just makes you want to explore your physical body more as well. So they make you very excited about intimacy and all of these types of things. So I definitely see here with In Touch with Your Body that overall being around this person is going to make you feel very comfortable, and your love story is going to be one of taking care of your body but also exploring your body. The 10-90 ratio is all about life being really 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. And one thing that I see about your love story is that the reason why it's working out for you, my gorgeous Aries babies, is because you are ensuring that the way you react to life and the way you react to love is always a bit more tender than how you deal with other situations in your life, where you're maybe a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more impulsive, a little bit more energetic in a way that can sometimes be a lot, right? I see that when it comes to love, you kind of like take that energy down a notch and you're very caring. You're very much in a comforting headspace when it comes to dealing with your person. And no strings attached for you, my gorgeous Aries babies. I can see here that the person with whom you're going to end up with whom your love story is going to play out with, they've got absolutely nothing attaching them to anything whatsoever. So they don't have any children from prior relationships. They have never been married. They have never been in a situation of commitment where they, for example, lived with another person or had a mortgage. They are like a newborn baby. Okay, that is one thing that I see here with a no strings attached. And your love story is going to play out with someone who is doing all of those things for the very first time with you. I want to add some letters of their name into the mix as well, my gorgeous Aries babies. So one thing that we have here when it comes to letters is the letter N for their initials. Then we also have the letter O. Spirit. Let's have another letter of this person's name. We've got S. Okay, well, it could also be spelt sun, right? Somebody's son. Oh my gorgeous Aries babies. I'm just kidding, but these are the important letters within their name, and maybe their initials as well, my gorgeous Aries. So let's see if there's any more information that you need to know about your love story with this person. We've got their letters, we've got when you'll meet them, where and how you will meet them. Let's see what else we need to know. The geranium shows me here that you will meet them after you've gone through an extensive period of healing and just getting yourself back on track. So if your health has been a challenge or just overall hasn't been easy on you, do know here that you will meet your person once that is in a more stable condition. I see here within the cauliflower that you will go through a lot of transitions within your love story, but that's okay because these transitions will all be new for both you and the person with whom your love story is going to play out with. So as we mentioned, for example, settling down, family situations, just solidifying the family, children, these types of commitments. I see that this is a transitional space for you and the person with whom your love story is going to play out with. And all of these new experiences are going to be held with a lot of positivity by both you and the person with whom your love story is going to play out with. And just overall, this is a great situation for you, my gorgeous Aries babies. This is a situation where you're with someone who has a really great mindset. Last but not least, we've got the cucumber. Make sure that you leave a little, let's say, a new moon emoji below in the comment section. We spoke about that here within Trust, but just to solidify that you're an Aries baby and that you made it to what is soon the end of your love story reading. So within the cucumber, I can see that your love story is going to be one filled with emotion. So don't be surprised if your person writes you love letters, really long text messages, if they're really infatuated by you and they profess their love a lot, because their love language that they love to give is most likely words of affirmations and just being emotional in the sense of telling you how much that you mean to them. So you're never going to feel embarrassed about your emotions either. All my gorgeous Aries babies, you're always going to feel as though this is a safe space for you to talk about how you feel. I kind of don't like how we have this little gap right here. I definitely feel like Spirit left that for us to just add one more card into your reading, one more bit of information about your love story, my gorgeous Aries babies, so we can see absolutely everything. We've got the Eight of Cups. Now the Eight of Cups here shows me that anything that doesn't serve you emotionally will be released within your love story. That's what the Eight of Cups is about. And we had release here within your prediction. So if right now you're maybe in a situationship or a relationship that isn't fully fulfilling, or there have been kind of situationships that are hot and cold, that are on and off, I want you to know here in the Eight of Cups that those are going to be released and let go of. You're going to walk away from those because the relationship you're meant to be in is meant to be one that is pure, that is solid, where there's a lot of trust between you and the person whom you're with, my gorgeous Aries babies. So I hope that you enjoyed the second part of your prediction and just overall hearing about your love story. Let me know below in the comment section how it resonated. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my store if you love my crystal jewelry and the decks that I used, because everything ships worldwide and you guys know the quality is just the most amazing part of all my products. That's the most important thing to me, and I love creating awesome content and product for you. So all of my beautiful Aries babies, thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my gorgeous Taurus babies, and welcome to the second, even more intricate part of your love story prediction. I hope that you enjoyed part one, but now during your zodiac-based portion, let's figure out exactly what the letters of your person's name are, when you'll meet them, where and how you will meet them, and any other relevant information that we may be receiving from the guides or your universe in regards to your love story. So let's get straight into it, shall we? First up, we've got the King of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, as well as the Five of Cups. So I can see here right off the bat when it comes to your person that you're most likely going to meet them when they are in their element. Now, the King of Pentacles represents someone who is very strong-minded, someone who has strong earth sign energy as well, which means they're practical, they're loyal, they're grounded, they're reliable. And I want you to know here in the King of Pentacles that they are a shrewd business person. So you're most likely going to meet them on their job when you actually see them in full action. I see here within the Four of Pentacles that they are someone who can negotiate even the most difficult, tricky deal. They usually come out on top. They keep their cards close to themselves when it comes to business. And I do see here within the Five of Cups that they have sometimes struggled to open up when it comes to love. But with you, things will be different. All of my gorgeous Taurus babies. With you, everything will be a lot more open. It will be a lot easier for them to be themselves, especially because you're meeting them in their element. You're meeting them in a situation where they feel safe, where they feel as though they have the upper hand. That gives them a sense of happiness about how they met you because they know that they were portrayed in a light that they like to be portrayed in. Next up, we've got the Ten of Pentacles. Now, I do also see a representation of you here, my gorgeous Taurus babies, because the King of Pentacles is the King of Earth, right? Just as you are an Earth sign, so is the King of Pentacles. And here in connectivity to the Ten of Pentacles, I can see that during a time where you have fulfillment in your life, especially in a material sense, especially when it comes to your career, that is when you are going to meet them. Let's just also add a month of the year into your prediction so we can figure out more details for you. Oh, okay, we've got January for my gorgeous Taurus babies. So I can see that the person with whom your love story will play out with is someone who you will meet during the month of January. And I do also see here in the Ten of Pentacles that that will be in the month of January after a successful business year. Next up, we've got the Tank card, which shows me celebration, fun, and enjoyment. So you will meet them during a time in your life where you don't need anything. You don't need a partner. You don't need a new lover. However, you are meeting them and it's going to feel right. It's going to feel like this is meant to be. And then, of course, there is no question as to whether this love story shall play out or not, because you both are feeling fulfilled. You both are thriving in your career. And then you know that you're with each other because you want to be with each other, not out of necessity or out of a need for some sort of like emotional crutch or anything like that. Next up, we've got the Empress. So I do see here within the Empress that they will find you stunning from the moment they meet you, my gorgeous Taurus babies. And they're kind of fantasizing about having a family with you, about starting a family, having children. They find you to be someone who is nurturing, who would make a great parent, a great mother, or a great father. And that is something that they're envisioning and fantasizing about pretty early on after meeting them. Next up, we've got the Two of Pentacles. So I can see here that you'll meet them in a space where there's some sort of work commitment. So as already mentioned, you will meet them on the job as they are working during business hours. Maybe it's also like a business after party get together type of situation. And I see here in the Two of Pentacles that the occasion is a mixture between work and fun. And I definitely see that that is where your person sometimes has some tension when it comes to figuring out exactly how to balance those different areas of life. Let's add some letters of their name into the mix, Spirit. What are the letters in Taurus person's name? So we've got the letter O, as well as, oh, okay, a blank rune. So they may have some special characters, for example. And the letter E. So E-O as well as blank. I will leave that here for you by the King of Pentacles. I want to figure out any additional information that we need to know about your situation, where you'll meet them, when you'll meet them. Just, ooh, all of the details. Okay, we have a few cards that clearly want to speak about your love story. So first up, let's talk about solitude. I can see here within solitude that you will spend a lot of time in your love story where you both enjoy your alone time as well. So you're not going to be constantly breathing down one another's necks. I can see that you both have things that you like to do. Maybe you're both introverts who enjoy their own space and solitude. So you will still be able to do that. As I see here that speaking up for what you individually love to do, that is a normal thing in your love story. That is a normal thing in your long-term romantic relationship in this lifetime. And I do also see here within forgiveness that anytime you or your partner may say something a little more harshly than you needed to, or in a way that the other person took the wrong way, there's a lot of forgiveness and love here for that situation. So you're not holding any grudges. There's no pettiness. And this is the first person with whom you, my gorgeous Taurus babies, feel like apologies are really sincere that you can actually let go of for good. I do also see here within change that from the moment your love story begins, everything is going to change for you. I can see here that from the moment you meet them in the situation where there's most likely going to be a full moon, it's going to be in January, it's going to be in a space where work and pleasure meets and mixes, everything is going to be different because you're going to see that a lot of the requirements that you may have had when it came to love that people made you feel like were too much, it wasn't much at all. It was actually something that is minimum requirements for someone who really wants to love you and someone who really wants to explore being with you long term. So all my gorgeous Taurus babies, make sure that you leave a little full moon emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here, that you received part 2 of your prediction, and that you represent a Taurus family. Thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me. The relevant links to my decks and my crystal jewelry are below in the description box, and I will connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Geminis, and welcome to part 2 of your love story reading. I hope that you enjoyed the first part that you got to pick from during the intro with all the information that was specific for part 1, but now we'll talk all things Gemini in regards to when you will meet the person with whom your love story will play out with, where and how you will meet them, as well as letters within their name and any other relevant information that we may be receiving. So we've got the World, the Star, and a Death card. Wow, there's a lot going on here. Let's start off with the World and a Death card, shall we? Because these are kind of polar opposites, it seems, but let me tell you, they make a lot of sense with one another. Now, fear not, my gorgeous Geminis, the Death card is not a literal death card, okay? So you're not going to meet your person at a funeral or anything such as that. The Death card is a card of new beginnings, of transformation, of starting from zero, of having a completely fresh shot at love. And I see here in connectivity to the World that you need that. You need someone where the past doesn't come back to haunt either one of you. There are no exes, there are no mutual friends or drama or anything that could stir up old emotions or make you feel insecure in any type of way. I do also see here within the Star that there is hope on the horizon for you to feel comfortable in a situation where you're starting from the ground up and to just trust. As a Gemini baby, you always have a lot going on mentally, sometimes a lot of overthinking as well. So that is where I can see that just starting off with someone where you have no trust issues, where there are no mutual friends, where you can, for example, ask about their past relationship or their exes, that is really what makes this love story start off on the right note. And I see here within the World that your love story is exactly what you need in order to feel fulfilled and secure within a relationship. Next up, we've got the Journey for you. Now, in the Journey, I can see here that you're most likely going to meet them as you are on a trip. You're most likely going to begin your love story during a time where you didn't think that you would meet that special someone. So I do see here that this is going to be at a time in your life where you're not looking, where you don't need anyone, my gorgeous Gemini babies, as already mentioned. And why don't we just put a month? to this situation about when you will meet them, right? Let's get a little more precise. So we've got the month of January for you. That's what we've got right here. So my gorgeous Gemini babies, a January during which you will go on a trip. That is when you will meet your person. Let's also figure out exactly what day that we've got, shall we, during the month of January? Spirit, let us know what day we've got during the month of January. Okay, the 1st. So right on the 1st of January, or New Year's, so to say, right at the start of a fresh calendar year is when you are going to meet your person. Let's move further into your prediction so we can figure out more about your love story, shall we? So we've got the box. So I see here that within this love story, there will be a lot of gifts. The box shows me here that your love story is going to entail the gift-giving love language. In case you've never heard of that, all my gorgeous Geminis, there are 5 different love languages. Gift-giving is one of them. Some of the other ones are words of affirmation, acts of service, there's quality time, and there's one more, which I can't remember right now as I'm not a love language expert, but you get the idea. So here within receiving gifts, I do want you to know that your person will love doing that. And also within feathers, I see that this is because that's how they grew up. They grew up understanding that giving gifts is something that actually demonstrates care and love. Maybe their family never really showed them what love is outside of giving gifts, outside of giving each other monetary things. So I see that this will continue on within your relationship with them. Let's see what other information we have about the locale of where you're going to meet them. So we've got action. I can see here that you're going to meet them during a time where the weather is kind of doing its own thing. So by the weather, I mean it might be stormy, it might be rainy, it might be very windy. It's going to be one of those things. And maybe there will have even just been like a natural disaster near the area where you live in. And just overall, it's going to be like a crazy force of nature that just took place. I see here within thriving that nevertheless, it's not affecting you. You're actually in a good space. You're actually thriving because as mentioned here within the journey, you're still going on a trip. You're still going somewhere geographically. You don't need them, right? All my gorgeous Geminis, that's when you're going to meet them, when you're thriving, when you're your best self. And I see here within wonders that that is instantly going to shape your love story because your person will always remember you as someone who seemed independent from the moment you met them, someone who seemed like they had their life together. Even if you're laughing now, my gorgeous Gemini babies, that is the impression that you made with your person or you're going to make during your love story. And I do see here within wonders that it will feel like they simply cannot get enough of you right from the start. That is one thing that I can see here for you. Let's add more information. So we know about the weather. Let's see here within the moon. You're going to meet them during a situation that doesn't quite seem right to meet a lover in. Okay, so that could, for example, be at a family gathering. It could be that they tag along as a friend of someone. It could be that you meet them during someone else's, for example, engagement party. And it feels like it should be about the other people, but you're meeting the person with whom your love story is going to play out with. During a time where the spotlight is actually on something else, you will connect in that way. And you're most likely going to connect during an event that isn't about you two, that isn't about dating specifically, because there's no pressure. So it's easy to talk to one another. It's easy to just strike up a conversation because it's so glaringly obvious that you're not in a situation where dating is priority or where chatting up someone, flirting with someone is the main goal, that you will both feel so much more comfortable to do it. And I see here within the 9 of Swords that takes away a lot of the anxiety of talking, of communicating. That takes away a lot of the anxiety that you've maybe laid awake at night with and thought to yourself, how is my love story going to play out? How am I ever going to be able to just freely talk to someone, to just make conversation and small talk. Well, all my gorgeous Gemini babies, it's just going to happen naturally when you least expect it during the month of January. Most likely we've got the 1st, so think maybe also the 1st is in early morning hours after New Year's Eve, but maybe also the 1st of January, because right then there's a celebration that some of your friends or acquaintances are doing, and you're not expecting to meet a date then, you're just excited to start the new year. But there you go, your love story begins. We have one more card that popped out of the pile, which is the crib, which stands for a birth or conception of a child or enterprise. So it's very clear here what's going to happen during your love story. We have children, we have you maybe even starting a business with your person, and just overall a lot of unexpected movement, but in the best possible way, because the World card is a card of ultimate fulfillment and happiness. The Star card is a card of hope, of also seeing the future really brightly, and the Death card is a card of leaving the past behind and transformation. Okay, so Gemini, last but not least, let's talk about letters within your person's name, shall we? So let's let Spirit give us this piece of information before we close off your reading. Oh, okay. We've got the letter V as well as the letter N. Oh, okay, Spirit is very talkative, as well as the letter L. So these are the important letters within your person's name with whom your love story is going to play out with. So all of my beautiful Geminis, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope that you found it insightful. Let me know below in the comment section. Leave a little globe emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you enjoyed your love story prediction. The links to my decks as well as my crystal jewelry can be found below in the description box. Don't forget to check those out if you're interested. And I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming pick a card readings. Hello, all of my beautiful fellow Cancerians, and welcome to part 2 of your love story prediction. I hope that you enjoyed the first part and that it was insightful, but now let's figure out more details about your love story, like when you will meet the one, letters within their name. You get the idea, my gorgeous Cancerians. So we've got freedom, we've got love, as well as embracing. So I see that you will meet the one during a time where you're actually embracing being single. You're actually embracing the freedom that that comes with. That's one thing that I can see here. You won't need them whatsoever, my gorgeous Cancerians, but you will want them. You will want this love story and this relationship. And that's also why it's so healthy and why it's going to work, because you're not in a situation where you need anyone. You're in a situation where you've got more love than is necessary. So that means you filled up your own cup. That's what I mean with you've got more love than is necessary, because the basic necessity is for you to fill up your own cup, is for you to love yourself and your life and the things that you're doing, to enjoy your freedom, to embrace it, right? And you're already doing that. And that is exactly when your love story is going to begin. Let's actually add a month of the year into the mix. Okay, we've got July for you. So all of my gorgeous Cancerians, this may be during a time where you're celebrating your birthday. I want you to know here that a summer month where things are blooming, where things are growing and in motion, that is when your love story is most likely going to begin. I see here within going forward that you know once you've met this person that the only way from here on out is forward. There's no moving backward. There's nobody else that's going to be in your life, romantically speaking. Once you've met your person, that's it. And I see a lot of greenery, a lot of foliage. So the first date is probably going to be outside somewhere. You may meet them online, for example, and then meet somewhere in a public space outside that is beautiful. Think to yourself a botanical garden. Think to yourself some sort of park. Let's figure out some letters within their name, shall we? Spirit, let us know who Cancer's person is. Okay, we've got the letter A as well as P. Let's add one more into it. Okay, we've also got the letter K. So I will just add that here into your reading. By the way, my gorgeous Cancerians, don't forget to leave a little crab emoji below in the comment section to represent, to let me and others know that you were here, that you're a Cancerian, that you represent your fellow Cancerians such as myself. But let's move further into your love story, shall we? So we've also got the stock. I can see here that you're going to meet them during a time where you're very focused on yourself, where you're very focused on self-growth. So maybe you've just gone through some sort of meditation retreat, you've been grinding hard at your job, you've been on a diet, you've been on an exercise regimen, you've been focusing on the things that make you a better person, and you've also been doing a lot of healing. That is what I can see here for your love story. You're not going to be with someone who comes with a heap of unresolved issues. I see that your love story is going to play out with someone to whom self-development is important, and also during a time where you have engaged in a lot of self-development yourself. That's one thing that I see here within the geranium as well as the stock. Okay, we've got another card, the healer. So in the healer as well as the geranium, as mentioned, healing is an important thing that you've both engaged in. That is no joke to either one of you. And I see here that when it comes to meeting your person, you will meet them in a space where it is unusual to find other healers. So as already mentioned, it may be online, for example, but it may also be that you meet them on their job and they're actually someone who works at a hospital, or they're a doctor. So you were a patient of theirs and you were not supposed to really do this. This is a little bit of a forbidden love story, but then you meet outside of that space. You meet outside of their work in a park, in a green place, in a place during summer months. So you may meet a lot earlier and they just cannot get you out of their mind. And then by some chance, by them maybe even finding you somewhere on social media or so, you still make it work with one another because you kind of just experience the spark that you've never experienced before with this person. And regardless of whether it's a little taboo to do this or not, I can see that nothing can keep you and your person apart. And the first meeting and where it will start is going to be outside of any type of work that you're doing individually from one another. I see here within support that you will have support from friends and family, coworkers, just the people around you when it comes to your love story and the situation. And people will understand that sometimes life just puts someone into the vicinity, even though maybe work rules say that you should not be meeting, or maybe even though it is unusual for someone from your background or just someone in your community to meet another person online with whom they start a romantic relationship with. That may be weird, but either way, I can see here that you have the full support of the people who are surrounding you when it comes to your love story, because they can tell that it's pure. They can tell that there is real intent to be together for a long time here, and they can definitely see here that how you met was just, in a sense, so meant to be, and in a sense so organic for your love story particularly, that there's no point in keeping two people apart who are actually meant to be together. So all of my gorgeous Cancerians, this is the second part to your prediction that I've received for you. I hope that you found it insightful and that it was fun. Make sure you don't forget to check out my tarot and oracle decks and all of my gorgeous crystal jewelry below in the description box, and I will connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Leo babies, and welcome to part 2 of your love story reading. I hope that you enjoyed the first part of your prediction, but now we'll talk all things Leo specific when it comes to when you'll meet your person, where you will meet them, how you will meet them, letters within their name, and any other relevant information about your love story. So we have a few cards that want to speak right off the bat, my gorgeous Leo babies. So first up, we've got diligence. I see here that when it comes that's your love story. You're going to meet someone who is not going to give up when it comes to showing you that they care about you and that they want to be with you. I see here within inner peace that they have dated, they have met other people, and they know that your connection is just different. And that's why they're so diligent, because they have this inner peace, this inner knowing that you are special, that this connection is different, and they will do whatever they need to in order to make this happen. They will diligently continue to pursue you. I see here within focus that their entire focus will be just on you, just on figuring out how to be with you, how to start this romantic situation. And I do see here within miracles that by some sort of chance, things will work out just as they need to, and you will both be in a space where you can be with one another and begin your love story. So let's move a little further into your prediction and all the cards that clearly wanted to speak. So we've got illumination here, we've got fulfillment as well as enlightenment. So one thing that I do see here when it comes to meeting them is that we most likely have kind of like a colder month. Let's confirm what month of the year that this meeting is going to be taking place in, shall we? We've got the month of April. So April is kind of on the verge of things being a little cold, not so cold that it's like super icy or anything like that. Things are just starting to grow. Things are just starting to warm up. So that is when I see that your love story is going to begin. I do also want to add a number when it comes to the day during which you're going to meet them. Okay, we've got the 13th for you, my gorgeous Leo babies. So take this as some real precise information about when you will meet them. Now let's talk about the additional cards that we received, shall we? Here within enlightenment, I can see here that meeting you is going to be like an aha moment. It's going to be like this amazing situation where this person just knows that this will be a fulfilling connection, that you will fulfill them and kind of make their situation whole, if you will. And it's not like they feel like they're not whole without you, but once they meet you, they just know that this is who I need to be with. So I see a light bulb kind of going on when you meet this person, right? I see them kind of understanding that you are the love of their life, and they will relentlessly and diligently continue to pursue you and continue to make sure that they do whatever they can in order to keep you within their life. Next up, we've got the staff. So I can see here that they will take care of you in difficult times. I see that your love story is one for better or worse, my gorgeous Leo babies, and you're not going to have to ask for help, as I can definitely see here that your person is someone who is focused on you anyways. They come from a place of non-confrontation. I see that here within inner peace. They don't like drama, and they also kind of like to put you at the forefront of everything. They like for you to be the center of attention within the relationship. I see here within the ant that they are a very collaborative person. So your love story is going to play out with someone who likes to work, with someone who has achieved a lot in their life and has a lot of success that kind of vouches for who they are. So that is one thing that I see here within the ant. And they work with a lot of other people. They work in a situation where it's easy for them to collaborate because it just comes naturally to them being around others. Now, the pineapple shows me that any type of situation in which there are disagreements or arguments, because they come from a place of having done a lot of inner work and working on themselves, reconciliation is quick and easy. For them, they would rather choose peace in a relationship than to be right. That's the type of person with whom your love story is going to play out with. So I just want to add one or two extra cards for you, my beautiful Leos. Also, don't forget to leave a lion emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you represent the Leo fam and that you were here, that you received part 2 of your prediction. Here within the black egg, I can see that you are going to meet them in a place where you stand out. Okay, so it could be, for example, a party, a get-together where you dress very differently than everyone else, or where you stand out, because maybe you can only make it to the party a lot later, or maybe you're at someone's wedding and you are a bridesmaid, for example, right? Or a best man, just someone in a important role, someone in a role that stands out, not by choice, but that's just what happens. And that is when you're going to meet them. And it's going to be during an event that is rather still, okay? An event where there is a lot of time to just focus on something that's going on. So the focus isn't going to be flirting or meeting another person. The focus is, for example, going to be a ceremony at a wedding, for example, or if it's a party, you know, someone else's accomplishment. And that will make it very easy for you to start a conversation with them, because it's not going to be awkward. You're both going to feel like it can happen organically. And I do see here within the starfish that slowly but surely meeting this person is going to lead from a friendship to a love story to a romantic situation. So this isn't starting off with romantic intent. This is actually starting off in a strong friendship. That is how I see the beginning of your love story being. And we have some indications of the exact time during which you're going to meet them. So let's add the letters of their name, shall we? Spirit, let us know who Leo is going to be with when it comes to Leo's love story. Okay, so we've got the letters S as well as G. Let's add one more into the mix, as well as, oh, okay, do we have Sag here? So I'm just putting this together because it's fun and it represents Sag, but do know that these are the letters within their name. They're not necessarily a Sagittarius, if you know what I mean, my gorgeous Leo babies. But these are the letters within their name. So all of my beautiful Leo babies, I hope that you enjoyed the second, even more detailed part of your love story reading. Let me know below in the comment section, of course, and don't forget to check out my tarot and oracle decks. Sometimes I do offer personal readings, not very often. Those can be found on my website, Bow Life, as well, in case you're interested. And I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Virgos, and welcome to the second, even more detailed part of your love story, where we talk all things Virgo. So within this part of your prediction, we will add letters to your person's name. We'll figure out when and how you will meet your person with whom your love story is going to unfold, and any other details that we need to know. So let's get into it. We've got fulfillment as well as illumination. So I see here that you will meet your person most likely during a full moon and during a time where you feel fulfilled, you feel whole, you don't feel like you need anyone, my gorgeous Virgo babies. In illumination, I can see that it's going to be during a time where a lot of things are becoming clear to you. Maybe you're watching a lot of documentaries, you're figuring out what you want in life and also what you don't want and what's important to you in romantic relationships. We've got the month of October for you. So this is the month in which you're most likely going to meet them, my beautiful Virgos. I do also want to add another month into the year for you. So we also have the month of March, where the likelihood of meeting the person with whom your love story is going to play out with is pretty high. So I do want to add some days of the month into this prediction too for you. So you have very, very precise kind of information that you can go off of when it comes to your love story. So Spirit, let us know what day we've got for the month of October for meeting your person when it comes to Virgo. Okay, we've got the first for you, my gorgeous Virgos. So probably just at the start of October. Now, let's see when it comes to March, what we've got there. Okay, we have got the 9th of March. That is what I can see here for you, all of my gorgeous Virgo babies. So we have some very precise details about when you are going to meet this person, but let's move a little further into the prediction, shall we? So next up, we've got flexibility. You're going to meet them during a time where you're being called to be flexible. So something clumsy may have happened, okay? Someone may ask you for help. so a close acquaintance or family member, and you show up to their house and your person is there because they're a friend of theirs, for example. It could be that at your work, you're being stationed in a different area, a different location geographically, or just overall, you're being put in a different department. You're asked to be flexible, and that is where you will meet your person. So you get the idea, my gorgeous Virgos. You're not going to be in your natural element. You're going to be in a situation where you have to be a little more flexible than usual. But you see here, we've got the tiger, so you've still got fierce energy about you, okay? You're not insecure, you're not hiding, but it is not your usual location that you will meet your person in. I see here within the Hermit that usually you like to spend a little bit more time to yourself. So it's going to be a bit of an extroverted situation that you're not used to. But nevertheless, the Hermit is also about illumination and enlightenment. And I see that you'll find it very easy to understand that this is the right person for you, because compared to being alone, there isn't that big of a difference. And that's not because this person is not bringing anything to your life. Quite the opposite. Your love story is meant to play out with someone where you don't need words, where you can just spend a lot of time in stillness, and it feels as comfortable as when you're by yourself. It feels as restorative as when you're taking alone time, when you're taking time away from the world and doing introvert things. I see here within the Four of Swords that you will definitely meet them during a time where you're going through a little bit of grief when it comes to a friendship or even a connection. Think, for example, a pet that's deceased, or an anniversary of a deceased loved one, a national holiday, or maybe it isn't even a nationally acknowledged holiday, but you get the idea, where you are reminded of the things that your ancestors had to go through, your lineage had to go through. And this may be a bit of an emotional time, but nevertheless, you're able to bond with your person because of this. Next up, we've got the Time. So in the Time, I can see that it will take courage to speak up. So as mentioned, you're going to meet them during a moment of flexibility. So in a different department at your work, at a person's house, for example, and they're just there by coincidence, and you're going to bring up the fact that you are mourning or going through a time of deep reflection. There's not going to be any small talk. How you meet your person is going to be very direct. You're going to show them exactly who you are right from the start, and you're going to know that this is the right person because they don't shy away from going deep when it comes to conversation. They don't shy away from topics that are not just surface level. And I see here within an Asterdium that you will immediately know that you've got a winner on your hands here, my gorgeous Virgo babies, that this is a great situation romantically for you, and it will push you to get out of your comfort zone and get out of your introverted tendencies for a little bit in order to secure the relationship. We've also got the number 44 here for you, which is a master number and shows an indication of some synchronicities that you may be seeing during October or March before you meet this person. Let's add some letters to their names so we can get even more concrete information. So Spirit, let us know everything that we need to know about Virgo's love story. Okay, we've got Y, we've got a blank rune as well as O. Okay, so the blank rune could be a representation of a special character or just overall some letters that we don't have just in the regular English language. So they may have some sort of special feature in their name that is unusual. And of course, the letters Y as well as O. I just want to add one or two extra cards for any additional information that may be here. If there is no additional information about your love story, then these cards will just be a repetition of what we've already got. So we've got the buffalo. Oh, okay. We've got a lot of abundance here when it comes to your love story. Okay. So we've got material wealth and abundance within your love story. There's not going to be any want for things. There's not going to be any worry about how to pay rent or anything like that. And I see here within the shark, there's a lot of determination that's coming from your person with whom your love story will play out with. And they are someone who keeps to themselves a lot. They are pretty introverted. They may know a lot of people. They may have a lot of acquaintances or people with whom they work with. But when it comes to really spending time with people, when it comes to really being intimate, they are a one person kind of individual, okay? And they've spent a lot of time by themselves in self-reflection, and it's going to take a lot of courage from them to open up to you. Also, I just want you to know here within the time as well as the shark that while it takes them a lot of courage to open up to you and to go from just being by themselves to being in a committed relationship, there's also a lot of flexibility coming from them. There's also a lot of understanding for anything that you want, be it, for example, decor in a joint family home, be it for how you would like the cleanliness of your living space, the type of routines, as well as different chores, how you would like those to be divvied up. So I definitely see here that your person and your love story is filled with a lot of effort from your person. So all of my gorgeous Virgo babies, thank you so much for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me. I hope that you enjoyed this prediction. Leave a little peach emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you represent the Virgo fam and that you watched the second part of your reading to the end. Furthermore, don't forget to check out my tarot decks and journals and oracle decks on bowlife.com. It's linked below. Everything ships worldwide, and you guys know quality is the most important thing for me, so you will not be disappointed. So all my gorgeous Virgo babies, thank you once again, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Libra babies, and welcome to part 2 of your love story prediction. I hope that you enjoyed the first part of your reading, but now we'll talk all things Libra, and we'll get into more details about your love story, like when you will meet your person, letters within their name, and any additional information about your love story. So we've got patience as well as protection. So I do see here, all my gorgeous Libras, that you are very patient when it comes to solidifying your love story. You're not going to rush into anything, as I do see here within protection that it's important for you to ensure that you protect your heart and that this love story really plays out the way it should, because you know that you've got something good going with this person. You're willing to be patient. You're willing to be open-minded. And I see here within power that the reason you're doing that is because you know that there lies a lot of power in giving things time and in allowing people to reveal who they are to you rather than to just make up a story of who you think they are. Because I think a lot of times we can make up these stories in our heads of who we wish that people were. We're only looking at their best traits, the traits that we think make them the perfect partner. But you're looking at the whole picture, the entirety of this person and the connection, and you see that that's basically the best thing you could do when it comes to your love story, because it really allows for people to show their true colors and you'll believe them the first time. Next up, we've got June as well as July. So you're most likely going to meet your person during some hot summer months, my gorgeous Libra babies. And I do see here with June and July that the likelihood is really high for you to meet them during a time where you can be outside, where the nature is a part of your love story, and it just overall starts off very organically. I want to also add some dates for you so we can figure out exactly when that is. So Spirit, let us know when Libra is going to begin their love story. Okay, we've got the number 10 as well as the number 7 for you. So there is the number 10 as well as the number 7. So think to yourself, 10th of June, 7th of June, 10th of July, 7th of July. These are important numbers when it comes to when you will meet your person. But let's move further into your predictions, shall we? So we can figure out more about your love story and when it's going to commence. So we've got the 10-90 ratio. The 10-90 ratio represents the fact that 10% of life is what happens to you and 90% is how you react to it, really. So that is what I see here within the 10-90 ratio. And furthermore, my gorgeous Libra babies, I also want you to understand with the 10-90 ratio that you may be going through a time where you could react in a challenging manner. You could react in a manner that just makes things worse, but you're not doing so. And I see here that you're going to meet them during a time where someone confesses something to you that you absolutely did not expect. So it could be, for example, a friend or a family member who is going through some health challenges, and you could react by breaking down, by being sad, by crying. But actually what's happening here is you understand you have to protect your peace. You have to protect the person's sanity who is going through this difficult time. You have to be supportive of them. So rather than jumping to reacting in an impulsive way, you're actually going to be here for this other person. And that just gives you a lot of this inner steadiness and inner power during a time where you will also meet your next lover that your love story is going to play out with. So you'll already feel really strong and empowered when your love story begins. I see here within animals that your love story is going to have some sort of connection and communication with animals. So adopting an animal with your person, maybe they already have animals or you already have animals in your life that are important to you. Maybe you work with animals. Either way, they play an important role. And I see here that you are going to meet your person with whom your love story will play out with during a time where you're traveling, where you're not at home, where you're in a space that is different, that is new, that is unknown to you, and where you're traveling in a work-related sense as well, all of my beautiful Libras. So you're going to find that meeting this person away from your comfort zone is actually a really great place to meet them in, because it puts you on like neutral grounds, if you will, and it takes your head away a little bit from what we've got in the 10-90 ratio and confessions, where you're thinking a lot about someone who you love who just is going through a tough and challenging time when it comes to their health and their life. I see here within the 3 of Pentacles that your love story is going to start off as a collaborative effort to accomplish something together. So it could be a work project, for example. It could also be helping a good cause that has to do with animals. And then all of a sudden you start to realize like, hey, this person is actually someone who I want to be with. This person is actually someone that I really like, romantically speaking. And the King of Pentacles shows us more of this kind of work energy, of this effort that's put into the earthly realms, that's put into anything that has to do with finances, anything that has to do with a business and sustainability of a business as well. And I see that what you will like about your love story and your person is the fact that they are great when it comes to managing business relationships and when it comes to managing finances. That shows you that the relationship has a real shot at longevity. So I want to add some letters of their name into the reading as well, my beautiful Libras, so we can figure out really precisely with whom your love story is going to play out with. So we have a rune that popped out, which is the rune I, as well as a Y. Let's see what else we've got. Let's add another rune into the mix. Spirit, let us know exactly who Libra is meant to be with. Okay, we've got Y again. So Y seems to be a very important part of their name. This is a very unique name that I can see here. And just the letter I and Y, they sound very similar. So that is what we've got here when it comes to their name, my gorgeous Libras. I want to see if there's any additional information that you're meant to receive about your love story. So we've got the crow. I see here within the crow that your love story is going to be filled with nice gifts. I see that your person is definitely going to make an effort to give you things that you like, materially speaking. And I see here within the bear that your love story is going to play out with someone who is very chill, someone who likes to take take their time, someone who doesn't like stress or gossip or any type of difficulty in a romantic relationship. They really just want peace, and your love story is going to play out in a sense where it starts off in a more platonic sense, or at least that's what you're both telling yourselves, and then it kind of progresses into a romantic love story and situation. So all of my beautiful Libra babies, make sure that you leave a little bear emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here, that you received the second part of your love story prediction, and that you enjoyed it. Don't forget, any tarot, oracle decks, personal readings, all of that stuff can be found on my website, as well as my crystal jewelry. It is also linked in the description box, ready for you to peruse through, to check out. I have an amazing blog as well as free downloadables on there too. So make sure that you make use of Bow Life. I spent a lot of time and love and effort putting it together for you guys, whether you're purchasing something or you just want to read the blog, get free downloadables, and learn something new, support yourself. So all of my beautiful Libra babies, I would like to thank you for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Scorpio babies, and welcome to the second, even more intricate and personal part of your pick a card reading about your love story. So as we talk all things Scorpio baby, we'll figure out letters within your person's name, where you'll meet them, when you'll meet them, just all of the juicy details that you may want about your love story. So I hope that you enjoyed the first part of your prediction, but now let's move into some more very, very personal little details and pieces of information for you. So first up, we've got purity. One thing that I can see here is that you will meet your person when you're least expecting it. And I see that it will be during a time where you're enjoying your freedom. So you won't be in a situationship, you'll really be single, and they will be single as well, my gorgeous Scorpio. So there are no exes, no difficult situations that are coming back to haunt this relationship. As I see here within New Beginnings, that this is meant to be a fresh start for both of you. You're both meant to start this relationship on a note where you can build with one another and where you don't have constant reminders of a potentially turbulent past. We've also got the month of May here when it comes to when you're supposed to meet your person, my gorgeous Scorpios. And what else do we have? I hope you like that I'm just getting straight to the point, my beautiful Scorpios. I don't like to waste time. We've also got the month of July. So I do see here that when it comes to these 2 months, these are the ones in which the probabilities are the absolute highest for you to begin your love story. And I also want to add some actual days to this prediction, okay? So Spirit, let us know when Scorpio is going to begin their love story precisely. Okay, so for one, we've got the number 11 here. So we've got the 11th of May, and then we've got the 4th of July, but these are interchangeable. This could be the 4th of May or the 11th of July, just the number 4 and 11. Those are two important numbers of the month, days of the calendar year, where the probability of you beginning your love story is really the highest. So those are days that you should look out for, days to go on dates on. You get the idea. So we've got the 7 of Swords as well as the 7 of Cups. Now the number 7 is a number of reflection and introspection. And I do see here that while you have a lot of different options, when your love story begins, you are going to deliberately pick the one that you know is going to yield those results that you desire. So while there may have been other fish in the sea, you're picking the one that is most probable to lead to long-term commitment. It doesn't matter how enticing some of the others may look physically, for example. It doesn't matter how wealthy the other people are that we've got here in the mix. If you know that you've got a good thing going, you can build on that. And I see here within the 7 of Swords that other people will know when your love story begins that you've got a good thing going for you. And my gorgeous Scorpio babies, there's no other way to tell you this, but there will be some jealousy surrounding your love story. There will be some people who are looking at your love story thinking to themselves, why are they enjoying this? Why do they get to have this beautiful love story and I'm still single? That is the vibe that I get here in the Seven of Swords. Next up, we've got the potato or potato, however you'd like to pronounce it. So I do see here within the potato that your love story is going to be very grounding. It's going to make you feel comfortable. It's going to give you the stability that you desire, crave, and need. You're not going to be with anyone who engages in infidelity. They too had options, but they chose you and they're sticking to that. And the basil actually confirms that. The basil confirms that we've got a lot of trust here between you and the person with whom your love story is going to play out with. And trust in the universe is another thing that I see here as well. If you are single or you've been single for a long time, maybe you've been questioning whether your love story is ever meant to happen. I want you to know, my beautiful Scorpio babies, it is. Trust in the process and the universe and the fact that you have other options. You've always had other options, but what you're doing is you're not settling for something that isn't meant to be. That's what I see here within the basil. And the Seven of Cups also shows me with all of these options, you may most likely meet your person online. Think a dating app, for example. So it's important if you do that, of course, to let whomever you can know that you're going on a date. Well, don't announce it on your social media that you're going for a date, but you get the idea. Like, let a friend know, a family member know exactly where you're going, who you're meeting, just in order to stay safe. I see here within environmentalists that you are going to meet your person in a place that is environmentally conscious. So think, for example, a vegan restaurant, think a get together at a park, just a situation that's very green, where you represent your earth angel side as well, my gorgeous Scorpio babies, and they can see you in a beautiful light, quite literally speaking. So think, for example, golden hour, when it's evening time and just overall you're glowing, you're out in the nature, and it just looks like you're an earth fairy, like you're an earth angel. I also see here within let go that you will have to walk away from a situation shortly before you meet this person. Now, letting go and just allowing for a situation to do its own thing may mean that, there are some connections that were not grounding that you had to let go of. That's what I see here connecting to the potato, but also the Seven of Swords. If there are friends that you can just tell are never that happy for you, it's like they show more interest when there's drama in your life rather than when there are things to just celebrate and be excited about. And you will find that you have to let go of that during the course of your love story or right before this love story begins. So now let's allow for Spirit to give us information when it comes to the letters of your person's name, my beautiful Scorpios. So Spirit, who is Scorpio meant to be? Oh, okay, we already have a letter that popped out of the pile. We've got R as well as U. And we also have a blank room. So the blank room could, of course, represent a special character, but the blank rune could also just mean that they don't have a middle name. They just have a first and a second name, and their name is just overall on the shorter side. So all of my gorgeous Scorpio babies, leave a little scorpion emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here, that you received the second part of your love story reading, and that you enjoyed it. Furthermore, don't forget to check out my oracle decks, tarot decks, journals, and personal readings, just everything, crystal jewelry, on bowlife.com. It's linked in the description box, very easy for you to access and find. You guys know quality is the most important thing to me when it comes to these products, and it is reflected in everything that I do. And I also have a blog as well as free downloadables. So whether you're looking to shop or just to educate yourself and support yourself, feel free to check that out, my gorgeous Scorpio babies. So thank you for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies, and welcome to the second part of your love story prediction. We'll now be getting into letters in your person's name, when you'll meet them, where and how you will meet them. So let's get into your reading, shall we? I'm excited to talk all things Sagittarius, and I hope that you enjoyed the first part of the prediction with all the details about their zodiac, their age, their dress style, dating history. You get the idea. So first up, we've got fulfillment as well as healing healing chaos. So all of my beautiful Sagittarius, I can see here that when it comes to your love story, you're going to feel as though the person with whom you'll end up with is someone who finally brings fulfillment and peace into your life. You're also probably going to meet them during a full moon. I can see here within healing chaos that they have also come from a background where they had to work on themselves. It may have been very tumultuous for them when they were growing up. And I see that this relationship is meant to finally bring some peace, some emotional stability, and just overall a feeling of not constantly needing to wonder what's happening, whether you're loved or not, whether that person is there for you. Definitely see for all my beautiful Sagittarius babies that your love story is meant to play out with someone who has a very calm-centered kind of mind and calm-centered type of communication style. So we've got December. I see that you're going to meet your person in December. And I do want to add some numerology to this so we can figure out exactly what day you're going to meet them. So let's see what we've got here. So let's see what Spirit has to say about the day you'll meet them. Okay, we've got the 17th for you, my gorgeous Sagittarius babies. Can you see right here? We've got the number 17. There we go. Look at this 4K camera. I absolutely love that I'm able to provide you guys with such great quality. So let's move further into your prediction so we can figure out more about your love story. So next up, we've got abundance. I can see here that when it comes to your love story, you're meant to be in a relationship that is filled with abundance, where there's nothing that you're really wanting for. Also financially, there's abundance here. And I do want you to know here within the abundance card and the fulfillment card that this kind of goes hand in hand. When you're not wanting for anything, you feel as though your life is abundant and fulfilled and chaos has been healed. I see here within trust that this is a very important part of your love story, and I can see here that you're going to meet your person during a time where trust is imperative. You're not compromising, and you're also unwilling to turn a blind eye to any kind of weird or shady behavior that is a red flag. Like if you've been seeing someone for a while and they cannot leave their phone in the same room with you without being there, like they cannot leave their laptop out of sight, for example, that is weird, shady behavior that you're not going to tolerate, because trust is important to you. And if someone gets nervous about leaving their phone unlocked around you or you looking into their screen, that is often a sign that there's something there that you're not meant to see, which can't be anything all that great. So I do see here within the Tarragon that in the past you may have dealt with some serious trust issues because trust may have been abused, misused, broken. I want you to know here within the Tarragon that you're rebuilding that, and your love story is all about regaining trust in your choices and partners and men and women, and being in a place where you're like, yes, you know what, I made a good choice. And that's it. I'm happy with this person. This is my love story. I see here within the Black Mulberry that once you found the one, you're just owning it. That is your wholeness. And it's not that you weren't whole before your love story played out or before you met your special someone. It's just that being with them just adds so much to your life, spiritually, emotionally, financially, my gorgeous Sagittarius babies, but don't tell anyone I told you this. So that is what we've got here so far within your prediction. I want to figure out what letters are in your person's name. So let's see what Spirit has to say in regards to that. Spirit, what are the letters in Sagittarius love story's name? Okay, so we've got the letter L, we've got the letter E, and we've got the letter T. So let, basically. But let's see here. We've got the letter L, E, and T for your person. So this is a dead giveaway. If you're trying to figure out whether you are with the right person or not, know that your love story is going to play out with someone who has all of these different letters within their name. Let's figure out a little bit more about where you'll meet them. We know when you'll meet them, but let's figure out where and how, just a few more details about it. We've got this full moon scenario. Also, my gorgeous Sagittarius babies, don't be afraid to leave a little palm emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are here and that you're a Sagittarius receiving the second part of your love story prediction. So now let's move further into your reading. So next up, we've got Know Your Worth. Oh, I love these oracle cards so much from the Wild Muse Oracle deck. Know Your Worth shows us here that you're going to to meet your person while you're all dressed up. You're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling confident, both emotionally and physically, and you know your worth. You're not settling for less. You're not settling for someone who doesn't make you feel as though they truly like worship you and honor you, and not in a crazy kind of way, but just in a way that you know, like, this person really appreciates me. That's what I see here. Within being open to receiving, I see that you're most likely going to meet them during a time where you are being celebrated and honored. So think, for example, a work event where people are invited who have done amazing work, who have put in a lot of effort. Furthermore, maybe you're being celebrated in the sense of it being a special day, a special holiday in your community, in your religion, maybe for your ancestors. You're going out, you're celebrating it. You being celebrated and meeting your person with whom your love story will play out with might also mean that you're at a friend's wedding and you play a very special role. You're, for example, a bridesmaid, a best man. You just overall are meant to stand out, and you're feeling really good and you're dressed well. Next up, we've got the best case scenario. Yes, your love story will start off on the best possible note, my gorgeous Sagittarius. This is an amazing reading about your love story, which is specific to your zodiac sign. In the best case scenario, I do see here that you couldn't really ask for anything more when it comes to the start of your love story. You're going to get to know your person on the best possible note and the best possible foot, and they're going to have an amazing first impression of you because you're confident, you're feeling so great about yourself, and you are not feeling insecure because everything isn't focused and centered around you. You are being honored and you're definitely put in a special spot, but there are also other things going on. So yes, you're shining, but it's not just you, all my gorgeous Sagittarius babies. There are other things too. So that doesn't make you too nervous or uncomfortable. I see here within unconscious games that when it comes to your love story, be aware of anyone who is trying to pretend as though they're the one. Okay, we know when you're going to meet your person. We've got letters of their name. We know it's going to be a full moon situation, and you received the first part of your prediction, so we have even more info on your love story. But beware of people who see that you know your worth and who find you physically attractive, trying to slide into your DMs, trying to sweet talk you into seeing them or being with them just because they would like to have a little bit of fun. I see here in the Four of Cups that for you, it's better to be alone than to be with someone who isn't properly respecting your worth and who isn't really giving you the acknowledgement and the celebration that you deserve every time you're hanging out with them. Yes, partners exist that will tell you every single day that you're special, that you're beautiful, that you're deserving. I see here within the Eight of Cups, all my Sagittarius babies, that walking away from people who don't give you that will enable your love story to begin. If you don't walk away from partnerships, both romantic but also platonic, that aren't allowing you to feel your best, that aren't allowing you to feel like, yes, I've got this, actually I am beautiful, actually I am worthy, then you can't make space for the ones that will give you all of this wholeness and fulfillment that you deserve, all of these different forms of praise and love that you can be open to receiving. That is one thing that you have to work on. Lastly, here within the Devil, I can see that your love story is going to be one where material abundance definitely has some changes that it's going through. So we spoke about how your love story is going to play out in a material sense in a favorable way, but I also see here, because there's a lot of abundance, actually material things increasingly become irrelevant throughout your love story. You find that the older you get, the less things matter, and the more you're all about those connections, communication, and trust, my gorgeous Sagittarius babies. So this is the second part to your love story prediction that I received for you. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Don't forget to check out my crystal rings as well as oracle tarot decks and journals. The links are below in the description box. I also have a blog that's amazing, free downloadables. What I have built has something for everyone and anyone, so don't be shy to check it out. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all of my gorgeous Capricorn babies, and welcome to the second part of your love story prediction. I hope that you enjoyed part one and figuring out everything about their zodiac sign, some things about their looks, their style, their job, but now we will add letters of their name into the prediction. We'll figure out exactly when you're going to meet your person, your soulmate, with whom your love story is going to play out with. So let's get into the reading, shall we? First up, we've got power as well as protection. So all of my gorgeous Capricorns, I see here within power and protection that the person with whom your love story is going to play out with is someone who is very powerful and who will put their power towards protecting you financially, physically. They're the type of person who doesn't play games when it comes to family and the things that they love and own, and they may actually see you as a bit of a possession. All my gorgeous Capricorns, just want to warn you, as a Capricorn baby, you are ruled by Saturn, in case you didn't know, and you are someone who is very efficient and disciplined. And I see here that being with someone who is also driven, powerful, who knows exactly how to get what they want, that makes you an amazing power couple. And I find that expression so cringy, but you get what I'm trying to say, the vibe I'm trying to get out when it comes to your love story and the dynamic. I see here within success that the universe is just confirming what we're talking about, really. I see here within success that your love story is not only going to be a success on the basis of love, but also economically, also when it comes to building and creating your own family structure. I see that overall your love story is going to be one where you and your partner protect one another fiercely and fearlessly, and you want to build a legacy for generations to come, and for your grandchildren to think to themselves, wow, my grandmother and grandfather really did something. I really look up to them. I see here within the swan that your love story is going to play out with someone who is pretty elegant, someone still modest, who doesn't brag about their accomplishments. And I see here within the cobra that they do have a sharp kind of tongue and sting to them, though. Okay, so this is someone who is nice until they're not. This is someone who is nice until you mess with them, until you piss them off, so to say, my gorgeous Capricorns. Then it's game over when it comes to your person within your love story. Oh, okay. The month of the year during which you will meet them. We've got December for you, as well as August. So these are the 2 months in which the possibility is the most likely and the highest for you to begin your love story, my beautiful Capricorns. So I also want to figure out exactly what days that we're looking at. So let's see what Spirit has for us. Spirit, what day of December is Capricorn going to start their love story? We've got the 15th for you. Here we go, my beautiful Capricorns, the 15th of December, and let's see what we've got here for August. Spirit, what day in August is Capricorn going to start their love story? Please let us know. Please bring us clarity. Okay, we've got the number 14. Here we go, the 14th of August. So I do see here that when it comes to your love story beginning, numerologically speaking, we've got the middle of the month here for you for your love story to begin. But I also see within protection and power that a stormy night, a thunderstorm kind of day is when you're most likely going to meet your person and begin your love story. In Know Your Worth, I can see here that your love story is going to start when you're feeling amazing about yourself. And that's most likely also what's going to draw your person to you, because they're so infatuated by your confidence and the fact that you do know your worth. So we have a card that popped out of the pile. Let me pick it up for you. It was the Perfect Moments card from the Wild Muse Oracle. So let's talk about this. The Perfect Moments card shows me here that when it comes to your love story, there will be so many impeccable moments that seem like they're out of a movie. Okay, so dates, a proposal, a wedding day. I want you to know here that it's going to be nothing short of like a perfect Instagram reel, or for example, a perfect romance novel or movie. That is one thing that I do see here within Perfect Moments. I also want to find out the letters in the name of your person with whom your love story is going to play out with. So let's see what Spirit has for you, my gorgeous Capricorns. What letters do we have? Okay, we have quite a few letters that popped out for you that you're meant to receive. Okay, so first up, we have a blank little guy here, which could indicate that we have a special character. Then we've got H, L, as well as I. So these are important letters within their name, initials, their first, middle, and last name. You get the idea, my gorgeous Capricorn. So I'll just leave these letters right here for you to take note of and for you to have as a precise indication about your love story, because on this channel we're all about precision. We're not playing around. Let's see what else we've got here when it comes to your love story. So we've got the Basil. In the Basil, I can see that you're going to meet your person during a time where your eyes are wide open and you're not going to be okay with just blindly accepting red flags. I see that here with the Basil. Trust is important to you. If you're seeing someone for a couple weeks or months and you notice that they, for example, always take their phone with them, they can like never be in a different room and you're there with their laptop or their phone or any of their technological devices, that is like a red flag to you. That's a no-no. I see here within the cauliflower that you don't want to be in a relationship where you have to wonder, that makes you emotional in a bad way. The cauliflower corresponds to the Cancerian, that is the sign that we've got here, and also the master number 11, which is a number of initiation in numerology, of starting something new. So if you're triggered emotionally, you move on, you start something new. That is one thing that I see here in regards to your love story. Let's add a little further into your prediction, shall we? We've got openness. So in openness, I can see that you're most likely going to meet your person during a full moon and that stormy night we spoke about. We also have the full moon here with August again. We've got a full moon here with an openness, and just overall a time where you're feeling the energy of the moon really strongly, where it affects you in a sense of you feeling like something is just different today. It's almost as though every cell in your body knows that your love story is about to begin, but your head just hasn't quite made the connection yet for you. Next up, we've got the Tower. So I see that your love story is going to start after some things have fallen apart that need to be rebuilt from the ground up. So for example, you switching jobs, for example, you breaking up with a person who is kind of on and off and hot and cold. That's what I see here in the Tower needs to happen for you to move into your love story. And I see here within the lovers that it's going to happen very rapidly, very quickly. You're going to meet your person in a very romantic way. So going out on a dinner date, for example, you're going to be somewhere inside where you can cuddle up together, especially if the weather is kind of like stormy and cold and rainy outside. It's going to be a very romantic, sweet scenario. That is how I see you meeting your person and your love story beginning. So all of my gorgeous Capricorn babies, this is a reading that I received for you. Make sure that you leave a little lightning emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and you received the second part of your love story prediction. Thank you so much for being here. Do not forget to check out my blog, my free downloadables, my crystal rings. Some of them are adjustable, like for example, this moonstone ring right here. Let me zoom in on it for you. There we go. This one is very adjustable. It can fit any finger size, and all the other rings have size guides to make sure that you get the right size for yourself. And also my tarot and oracle decks are on there as well, so make sure you check that out. Thank you for being here, my beautiful Capricorns, and I cannot wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Aquarius babies, and welcome to the second, even more intricate part of your love story prediction. Let's get into it, shall we? In this part, we're going to talk about when you'll meet them, letters in their name, and any other details that we may have about your love story and how it's going to all come together. I hope that you enjoyed the first part of this prediction where we spoke about their zodiac, their appearance, things like that. So let's move into it. We've got abundance as well as thriving. For you, my gorgeous Aquarius babies, I see right off the bat that some of the messages that the universe wants to deliver to you is that your love story is going to leave you not only abundant, but also feeling as though you're living your best life. So if you're in a situationship or a relationship right now where you do not feel like this giraffe, where you do not feel like you are thriving under these beautiful, luscious trees, and you're just this gorgeous being with long limbs that can, see the big picture, see everything because you're so tall and you can plan ahead and all of these amazing traits, then this is not the relationship for you, okay? Because the relationship for you, your love story, is meant to bring you abundance both in a material way, in a spiritual way, and in an emotional way. Next up, we've got love. That is what true love is for you, my gorgeous Aquarius babies. You are very creative, inventive, philanthropic, and also very rebellious. So you need someone who can let you be the best version of yourself. You cannot be with someone who is clinging on to you, who's never allowing you to explore, to go on adventures, because you are an adventurous sign. You're not afraid to try some things that are out of the ordinary or even be a little eccentric. I see that you definitely need someone who allows you to thrive, even if that means that you steal the show or you're different or you're larger than life. Next up, we've got October when it comes to when you're going to meet them, as well as July. So these are the 2 months in which it's the most probable for you, my beautiful Aquarius babies, to start this love story of yours. And I want to add some precise dates to this as well, so we can figure out exactly when our gorgeous Aquarius babies will begin the love story of their dreams and the one they deserve. So Spirit, what day of October is Aquarius going to begin their love story? We've got the 14th. That's one thing that I can see here when it comes to the month of October. We've got the number 14. So right in the middle of the month. Let's see what day it is for July. For July, we've got the number 6 for you, my beautiful Aquarius babies. So rather at the beginning of the month. Let's move further into your prediction, shall we? So we can figure out more about your love story. So we've got the World as well as the 4 of Wands. I see that you are building a legacy. You're building almost like a dynasty, if you will, in your love story, because the World card is actually basically the most favorable card of the tarot. This is a card that allows you to know that fulfillment is near. It's like the world is your oyster, really. And here, connecting that to the 4 of Wands, it shows happiness. It shows that you're building with another person. You're both very accepting and loving, and you both have the same goals in mind. And I do see here in the 4 of Wands that there's a lot of excitement, and you're most likely going to also meet your person during an exciting time, during a time of celebrating someone putting stability into their life. So meeting someone at a wedding, for example, at a wedding ceremony, at an engagement party, at someone's birthday or anniversary party, that is one thing that I can see here when it comes to meeting them. In the 6 of Swords, I can see that a part of you thought that you're probably not going to meet anyone all that interesting anyways before you actually went to the event, and then all of a sudden it's like your love story is meant to begin. Your love story has actually commenced at this point, my gorgeous Aquarius babies. So I do see here that it's going to come in a very unexpected manner. Next up, we've got the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands here shows me that your love story is going to begin by them speaking to you. They're going to pursue you. They're going to chase you. They're going to want to look good in front of you, to present themselves from their best side. And I definitely see a very kind of sweet part of them wanting to impress you here in the Queen of Wands, the World, and the 4 of Wands. They want to make a great case for themselves and for you to feel as though being with them is a really great idea. Next up, we've got take action. So you're going to have to, of course, show them that you're interested. They won't be able to smell it, my beautiful Aquarius babies. You will have to show a little bit of vulnerability and interest back with your person in order for them to continue pursuing you. Otherwise, they're going to give up because, of course, they don't want to come across as creepy. But I do see here that the more you kind of give them the green light, the more they will pursue you and set goals and milestones for the relationship, like meeting parents, for example, like going on trips together, like just overall continuing to take these little steps forward that build and solidify the relationship. Now, let's see some of the letters within their name, what those are, and just allowing Spirit to give us a little more insight. Okay, so we've got quite a few letters here for you. We've got S, A, we've got C, and a blank one. Okay, so these are the letters within their name, my beautiful Aquarius babies. The blank little piece here stands for a special character. This stands for something that is not just in like the common names, okay? So they may have a very exotic name. So think, for example, in the French language, there may be like this extra accent that goes on their name or below their name, but I definitely also see here that we've got this blank slate, as in they may still add to their name. Okay, so this is maybe not their completed name, and they're going to still add to the name once your love story plays out, as in marriage and sharing a joint name in the future moving forward. So all of my beautiful Aquarius babies, this is the reading that I received for you. Well, the second part of your prediction. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a little boat emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are an Aquarius baby, that you watched the second part of your prediction to the end, and that you enjoyed it. Furthermore, of course, don't forget to check out my crystal rings, my journals, my tarot and oracle decks, but also my free downloadables and my blog on my website, bowlife.com. It is linked in the description box, and some of these rings are fully adjustable, such as this moonstone ring, for example. So if you're a little nervous about sizing, even though I've written all the sizes on the webpage, so it's very easy for you to pick the right size, but if you'd like something a bit more adjustable, I've got those on my website as well, and all of these rings are so high quality. They will last you for years to come, I promise. So all of my beautiful Aquarius babies, thank you for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I cannot wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Pisces babies, and welcome to the second, even more intricate and personal part of your love story prediction. I hope that you enjoyed part one, but now in part two, we're going to add to this. We're going to talk about actual letters in their name, exactly when you will meet them, where you may meet them, and how you'll meet them, and just overall any information that we can get about your love story. So we've got adventures as well as flow. I can see here that you're going to meet your person with whom your love story is going to play out with when you are on an adventure. And we also have some full moon type of energy. We've got a calm, dark night, aside from the full moon, of course. And with dark, I mean, everything just seems so magical and mystical in a way that is slightly threatening, that's mysterious in the most sensual kind of sense. That's what we've got here for you, my Pisces babies, and it's going to be an adventure. You're most likely going to be in a rather tropical space or tropical country, and I see here that it's going to feel like a romance out of a movie. I see here within truth that one of the most important things when it comes to your love story is, of course, honesty, is being truthful, is being real with one another. And I do see that making that the focal point of your love story is what allows it to flow, is what allows you and your future partner to go on adventures together to the point where the relationship is so certain and so stable that if any of you want to move to another country, you're down, you'll figure it out. I see here within October that this is a month where probabilities are high for you to meet your person, but also in February, all of my gorgeous Pisces babies. I want to add a precise date to this prediction for you as well, just so we can get very detailed about your love story. So Spirit, allow us to know when Pisces is going to meet their person with whom their love story is going to play out with during the month of October. Okay, we've got the 15th for you, right down the middle, my beautiful Pisces babies. Now let's see what date that we've got for the month of February. Okay, Spirit says the 20th, my beautiful Pisces babies. There we go. Okay, so the 20th of the month for February. These are both the important days of the month for you, where you're most likely going to commence and begin your love story. Let's move further into it so we can figure out more information for you. We've got the pea, we've got the violet, as well as the peppermint within your reading. The peppermint here shows me that your love story is going to be a great success and a breath of fresh air, so to say. I want you to know here within the peppermint that we've got this kind of key to unlocking balance in your life. That is what I see here with the key symbol, as well as Libra, which is the sign of balance, the sign of the scale, right? And Libra always wants to keep everything in balance. So having your relationship represent that, or your love story represent that, shows stability. It shows that truth is definitely the epicenter of your love story, because with truth comes a very balanced kind of calm feeling and unlocking a feeling of being able to relax because you're not constantly on edge. I see here within the violet that we've got tranquility. We've got a very chill vibe when it comes to your love story. And that's because communication is on point, my beautiful Pisces babies. And you may have hoped and dreamed for this type of love story for a very long time. Do know here that you deserve it. This is meant to be yours, my beautiful Pisces babies. You are meant to be with someone with whom you can communicate effortlessly, and where it doesn't seem like every time you bring something up, it's an issue or they feel like it's confrontational. Meanwhile, you're just trying to have a conversation. I see here with an environmentalist that you're going to meet them during a date that's very like environmentally friendly and green. So think a vegetarian or a vegan restaurant or cafe, going to a park nearby, having a picnic. That is a type of way in which you are going to begin your love story. I see that you will look like the most beautiful earth angel on this planet, born to protect, nurture, and teach others about nature and the animals. Now, whether that is true or not, my gorgeous Pisces babies, that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is to know how you will meet them, and they will see you as a radiant earth guardian, earth angel, and someone who cares about others. And putting you in this scenery of greenery, oh, it's just going to serve you so much because the lighting is going to be amazing, and just overall it's going to allow you to glow. I see here within crystals that something over which you're going to bond when your love story begins is crystals, and the power of crystals, and just overall enjoying nice things. I see here within the crystals that your love story is one that goes deep, but where material things are also appreciated. And you can talk about those. You can actually have a conversation with your partner about crystals and material objects without it being superficial. And they may even give you something crystal related on the very first or second date when you meet them, because they know, okay, she likes this, he likes this, they like this. Let me get them a little something with an amazing energetic frequency. I see here within the Chariot that you're going to have to travel for a little bit to see them, and so will they. So you're not necessarily neighbors. They may actually come to meet you on a bicycle or public transport if you are living in a large city. Either way, I want you to know here within the Chariot that that doesn't matter to them. They're determined to see you and to meet you. And I do see that because we've got travel, because we've got this situation of not being so close to one another, you're most likely going to meet online, as there is no mutual friend type of connection that we've got here. It's just you and them, and there's nothing that's tying you to one another. You're building your love story from the ground up. Here we've got the Two of Cups, which, by the way, my gorgeous Pisces babies, this is the most favorable card when it comes to love in the tarot. This is a card of a real deep connection that is filled with mutual respect and adoration. This is a card of a soulmate connection or a twin flame connection, okay? Sharing intimate moments, both physically, romantically, sensually, but also spiritually. Leave a little bubble tea cup emoji below in the comment section. That way you can let me and others know that you're a Pisces and that you were here and that you received the second part of your reading. So I do definitely see here in the Two of Cups that the connection is going to be instant. You're maybe going to have some bubble tea outside with one another, some sort of warm beverage. You're going to share an intimate conversation with one another and immediately know, hey, this is the one, and this is the person with whom I want to experience and explore my love story with. So last but not least, my gorgeous Pisces babies, let's figure out some letters within their name, shall we? Oh, okay, so Spirit is speaking loud and clear. We've got the letter L, we've got the letter S, as well as the letter C. So these are the important letters within their name, all of my beautiful Pisces. I will just put this right here for you to take note of. So if you're asking yourself, if you're doubtful of whether you've met the right person or not, do definitely refer to when you met them precisely and what the letters in their name are. So all of my beautiful Pisces babies, thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me. Don't forget to let me know below in the comment section how you enjoyed this reading, and also feel free to check out my blog and my free downloadables on my website bowlife.com, where I also have things such as my crystal rings. Some of these are even adjustable, such as this beautiful moonstone ring right here, and they're made of pure silver that's gold plated. So if you're allergic to copper, these are the perfect rings for you, and they will last for years. Trust me, my gorgeous Pisces babies, I promise you won't be disappointed with the new crystal jewelry selection. So all my beautiful Pisces babies, know that I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions.